and the Neil, they're locked and loaded. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Take it over, Big Kahunas.
You know, I used to say that same bat time, same bat channel stuff. I might have to send this guy.
It's true.
You know, we used to charge somebody like 10 cents every time we played something. I might have to charge.
Hang on a second. I got you.
Discounted rate there.
How come I have 3 poppies in here?
Is it November yet?
Well, you know what time of year it is.
But
I usually keep like.
Yet.
No, I was getting you 10 cents to pay the royalty.
Oh, no.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
I have some money from when I was in London over here. I should have 50 pence.
You know, back in
giving this to Adam. What was I doing?
I don't even know why I have change. You know, back when people used to actually have, like, use money, you'd keep change around just for whatever reason. Like, I just kept this box here and not
2
put
pence? That's like 2 cents, I think. Okay.
I'm not going to London. I'm going to,
very, very rich, man.
Go to Rome. I don't need I don't need any pounds or pence.
You don't need pounds.
What we do need is for Meta to wake up. No, in all seriousness, the AMD event's going on right now. Nvidia has 1.2 million share orders on the offer at $135. Meta just broke the low of the day and is trying to hold the bottom. So big volume candle. Like, as the market was just bouncing off VWAP there, Meta was attempting to hold the low. So you got some things that are different from other. I'm waiting for the Nvidia 120.35 break pretty much the entire of the afternoon. So I missed this dip buy because I wanted to Google at VWAP, but
look at the new position board rolling
break. It looks a little. That's better.
No. Now they've got the blue in the background.
I don't
Fabian,
love the
who's
lines.
doing all this? You are,
lines
Fabian?
I don't love though. I don't know what you think about the line in between.
I've talked about the line, but now it looks. I don't mind the line now. I just wonder if the line could be like a different color, so it's not. You know where it says it shows the position, the divider.
Yeah, it just kind of because it almost looks like a. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. I'm in that many positions. Yeah. So we just had a great trade there, obviously on the TQQs, just buying some dips there. That's what I was talking about when I came back. We actually had another old trader sort of showed up here on the floor. So Neil and I said hi to him, and then I came back. I was like, I got to go because I was watching these positions. And then I got filled here. Didn't know that it would do this, where we just flushed a little bit there on the futures. And we were lucky enough to be sitting here on the TQQs just into this area here, trying to give it basically like on this last fill there, like 15 cents back down. And then all of a sudden it ripped up. And next thing you knew, we're getting out at the 200 period. So great trade there. Very lucky. Sometimes you're lucky to be sitting in this. We're still in Apple. I don't know. She's going to load up that board. I don't know if Apple's on it, but we're still in this same trade. We left during the midday there, but this goes up to almost $230. The trade that the whole floor and the whole world right now is looking at. And if you were part of the midday show, Sharif was talking about it. You know, 135 on Nvidia has come now twice, basically. I mean, I was going to say basically 3 times. Came right here at about 11 o'clock, close enough, right? 75s. And then we went and had a look at this. We say 135.10. Did it break? Like,
no, never broke.
Because I was not here for that. So, and then right here I was watching it, didn't break at all. So we're coming close. I do have a break on this trade. So if it goes through 135, I am hitting that thing. The only problem is, I don't know like how many pennies to cross up. I don't want to miss it, but at the same time, I don't want to pay like 20s, you know? So I ran into Obi. He was 10 cents. I'm 10 cents.
I'm 11. I never do.
Yeah, maybe it's like we're doing like 13 or something.
I always do 11 or 21 or 31.
Yeah, I'm gonna adjust.
Like whatever. If I want to cross 10 cents with a limit order for a breakout, I put 11 or 12. If I want to cross 20 cents, I put 21 or 22. It's just a habit. It's not the kind of, this is not like Neo or, you know, some insert cheap stock like Rivian where you're expecting to automatically just get filled within the first 1 or 2 cents. But I don't want to cross all like way too far away because it could be a huge liquidity grab. And if you get a bad price, then you just, the way I see it, like oftentimes you might just get the price you put in a liquidity grab. So if you put in like 25 and it fails, like you could be in at 25 and then out at like 90 or 80. And that's not what I would rather risk there. I'd rather be able to try to risk 11s and maybe only risk 25 pennies instead of 40 or 50. What I think is going to be a popular breakout. But the real story was the bleeding on AMD. Oh, the other thing about Nvidia, you'll probably pull it, just so you know, like it's not exactly yesterday's high, but this is kind of a double top too up here from yesterday's open highs on Nvidia. It's not the only story, but at AMD, we're up on AMD in the morning. I went red on it, trying to pick some bottoms in there. It flashed all kinds of like reversal setups. One or two of them were actually okay, but the majority of them, and you're still bleeding. To me, this is the only reason that 135 hasn't broken yet. I mean, I can't prove that to be true, but I'm telling you, we were cruising, and it looked like that 135 was an inevitability, and then AMD has happened. And until you start finding a bit of a bid, I don't know if that's going to break out. So got our eyes over here on AMD, now 4% to the downside. Quite the sell the news event.
All right, you want to come here, back over there? Let me talk quickly here, just really quick, because I just want to answer somebody's question here. Success is inevitable. He says, Sean, question, since all my positions are correlated, this is true. Why don't you just put it all in the NASDAQ? And then I responded like, you are right. That is also what I'm wondering. But I like to trade some names, not just for the show, but also because you can find other opportunities. And I want to give this one for an example with Palantir. I do feel like I should be putting more and more risk into the futures. I 100% agree with that. And we will be doing that. And I mean, quite frankly, I am doing it. But like, it's also very important to me to continue to trade names, right? And I mean, we were able to make more money on Palantir today than it wasn't even on the sticky note. It's just when it dropped in there, or was it? It might have been yesterday. Oh, yesterday we had a great trade breaking 42 bucks anyways, but right into there. So we were able to buy that dip and then take it to the upside. Meanwhile, if you go over to the TQQs at that time of day, you know, we're still over there doing that as well. But you see, it didn't get as big as a bump there. That pound, sure, if I held it, it would have been probably much better than that. But at the same time, I do see what you're saying. There is a definite correlation there with trading futures and all of the NASDAQ symbols that I do trade. But I just wanted to say that sometimes stock-specific events like an AMD event or like a Tesla or anything, or just like Nvidia in general, you definitely want to be on names as well as futures. So I just think that it's another huge benefit of being at real trading, being able to go in between different accounts and trade on the same platform, but different sets of equities, or asset classes. Okay, thanks for that, Fabian. All right, without any further ado, it is everybody's favorite segment, or least. It is Sharif over there at the big screen. Let's go talk some stock.
Y'all love it.
Welcome, everybody. First, welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Make sure to join us during the midday show and get into that chat and vote for your favorite tickers. The big kahunas are locked and loaded, and they're ready to look at them for you. But it's a subs-only chat, so make sure you like and subscribe. Here's a look at the NQ, down 0.14. All the indices right now are red. The NQ faring the best of the bunch. It looks like the ES down about 2/5 or a fifth of a point. The Dow making all-time highs yesterday, down 1/3 of a point. And the Russell 2000 getting it the worst off, down about 1% last time I checked. But the first ticker, as decided by you, no surprise here, 10:10 is today. The Tesla event starts 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Obviously, we're waiting for information on the robotaxi, but there could be other updates as well, specifically with the Model 2 and the Juniper upgrade to the Model Y. Midday, we got this headline here that shares of DoorDash were on watch as they potentially teased a partnership with Tesla for the robotaxi. Interesting look here, guys.
I'm going to get to, just before we get to this, Duo is halted to the downside. Another offering for them. I just had it up there. 88 cents. There you go. 4.5 million registered direct offering at a price of 88 cents. So halted down. It was $1.80 or something like that. Now it's $1.48, down 15%. This is the second time this has happened in the afternoon on Duo. It was either I think it was this day in here, the 4th, back when it was at $3. Now it is cut in half in 1 week for them. On the note of that, like Tesla event, it was pretty nasty. You know what? I'm going to go to DoorDash in a quick little second here first, because the news on DoorDash, and I don't think we'll trade it, this was the rumor, and then immediately like, oh, no, it's just a rumor. And then was denied. It comes all the way back in, but now it's trending to the upside just with the market. As far as Tesla goes, I was in it a couple times alongside red, one time to the short side that was good, then we lost on the short, reversed it, did not hold this 239. It's now trying to trend up. It was kind of like after it held VWAP, like this short was kind of an indication. You had the higher lows into a flat top break. It was a 240 that was better than 239. I was looking 239 breakout, no good. 240 was the one on Tesla. It is trying to go green today. I feel as if it might be a little bit of an inside afternoon for Tesla, just given the event is at 10 o'clock tonight. But the 240 level is the key, obviously, at this particular point. So that 240 holds, I think we're good.
You tell me, in our pool,
Oh boy.
do you think that Derek Carr,
Sports.
he's bad, right? But do you think he should be traded for straight up for Aaron Rodgers? I mean, doesn't Aaron Rodgers basically have one more year left, if that? And the team that acquired Derek Carr, as far as I know, I think has 2 wins on the year. I just thought that they might be building for a little bit of a future.
I have a silly question to ask. Isn't Derek Carr out for like 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. That happened in our league or in another league?
Ours. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Someone acquired Derek Carr for Aaron Rodgers.
We have a thing in our league called the Spirit of the League.
I mean, if this honestly, I don't know
SOTL.
why. I don't know why.
And
I
as
have to
far
put
as
up
I'm
with
concerned, that is the Spirit of the League objection right
what
there.
if I go to that Dynasty page? I should look
That's
that up.
not
That
cool.
seems.
I
to me,
understand.
that seems unreasonable.
I know Aaron Rodgers is a Jet. I know Aaron Rodgers is old. I know Aaron Rodgers has more in common with Intel than obviously Intel is Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen is Nvidia. I understand all that, but Derek Carr, what do we tell? He's injured and he's not good. That shouldn't happen in a fantasy league. That's a Spirit of the League violation. I'm gonna at some point when you're not watching, I'm gonna type that into our WhatsApp chat because that's not cool whatsoever. But Tesla's cool and it's trying to go green.
I mean, I was just.
No, that's
no. I mean, I just want to tell you about it. I just saw the trades. I wanted to see what you were thinking. Okay.
Zane.
So right now, yeah, that's right. It would be Zane. Yeah, exactly. So here we go. Tesla right now. Yeah, pretty flat on the day, right? Just mimicking the market. We are right now above the 200 period moving average, but just sort of hovering around it. The fact that the 50 period's turning this way, I mean, market's trying to go lower. For me, I know I'm long everything right now, but we're starting to get some out, and that's what I was actually going to talk about. We're long Google, Amazon, or Google, Apple, the futures. But if we break this VWAP, I don't know. You guys know what I like to do, but the thing is that often we get wicked in and out of these trades. So for me, for Tesla, we'll have to wait. I think Elon, again, he's really at his finest when he's giving like a big FU to everybody. And I really think that that's what he's doing today, because why in the world would you go live in an event that's live in New York and on the East Coast at 10 o'clock? I just feel like that's basically just telling people like, it's my world, I'm in California, and that is what it is. So deal with it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because he could have done why not? He could have done 4 p.m. or 5 or 6 even p.m. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's nothing. But anyways, my hat's off to Elon just for not caring and doing it at that time while Wall Street gets ready for bed. So anyways.
Before we go, Bitcoin's under 60,000.
Yeah, someone just said that.
I feel like we haven't mentioned that. No, I just saw that in the chat. JKL, BTC is bombing. I don't have an excuse for not being short Mara. That's silly.
I want to get Michael Noss on here.
AMD, man, that's the reason, because I was focused on the chips and I didn't even notice that we lost 60,000, to be honest with you.
60,000. I thought you were saying AMD. I was like, we lost 160.
Well, AMD's still breaking fresh lows of the day.
Yeah,
it's unavoidable. I know we're going to get to it, but it is still falling in here. The event is ongoing. They have a Lenovo executive, I believe, up right now in a very nice looking suit and shoes, but that's not going to get the stock to go up. Let's go to Sharif again.
Lisa Sue's baby blue power jacket, though. That's the ultimate. All right, guys. Nvidia getting chimed in here by Morgan Stanley. It looks like they met with Jensen Huang and left that meeting feeling even more confident about the company. Today, they put their money where their mouth is, or so to speak here, reiterating their overweight rating on Nvidia and maintaining the same $150 price target. This is the double top that we were talking about on the midday show, that 135. 2 rejections on that bad, guys. Obviously, the AMD event, again, could influence this as during the same field.
The entirety of the reason that I am slightly down today is because of one trade in Nvidia. I'm up on Nvidia, but Nvidia should be my #1 stock by a long shot. But it's not because of this fill and this out. This one right here. It is what it is. And yesterday, what I was doing, but even this fill that worked is still a bad entry. Because yesterday, I was getting long on the confirmation green, like the third candle. So you have the breakup, the hold of the low wick, the confirmation of the higher low, and I was getting long here. And it worked there, and so I got in early the second time, stopped out where the entry should have been in here at the same price with an even tighter stop, but that didn't work. You can see it's a bottoming tail. I'm not going to go into this. So, okay, so now you're holding 134 change with that 135 top. I still have the breakout order in there. I feel like I'm just going to take it if it gets there. But I don't like the reload as much because you're like AMD can't catch a bid. It just continues to fall, while Nvidia is making lower highs off the 135. So I'm feeling less and less good about the reload here on Nvidia at this 134 change. It's like 134 quarters the area that it's been bouncing, where the wicks are sometimes a little bit lower than that. But the way AMD is free falling, it's hard to just want to keep going into this when you have lower highs on Nvidia. It'd be nice if AMD would catch a bid or like end the event, and then we can start going back to maybe some normal trading, which was find the long in Nvidia, just go ahead and do it, and then it goes to the next level, and then find.
You know, I actually saw Tom Petty live, and it was quite the concert there. Okay, so just quickly, I said that I was feeling some kind of ways about the long, so we are exiting some kind of ways right now as well. We only have, again, now we have about 20% left, maybe a little bit less than that, on this TQQ trade. I just don't really want to mess with it. Success is inevitable, and the chat was like, yo, futures, what up? And then, yeah, so I just, falls back, great. We already took advantage of this. We got out of almost, I said only have 20% left, so we got out of 80% up here when it just ripped like that. So as I said, I was pretty lucky to have not even been at my desk when this was happening. And thankfully, our stop order did not trigger. But there it goes, out there, looking at view up. I just wanted to make sure that I got out. I don't have any more offers except for up here again. So if it continues to go higher, then we will do that. Look, Nvidia, I don't have any trades on it today. I have trades on AMD, which we'll get at later. But I still like Nvidia. The big trade for me is 135 break. I think it's a no-brainer that you at least take it and try. You know, what's my guys over there, life without whimsy. But no, if you're going to sit here and trade, you have to trade that level, whether or not you want to go short in front of it. I don't hate on that. You can even start it right now, underneath the 50, underneath the 200, making its way to view up. I don't mind this trade at all. It's just right now the market's flat, pretty much where it's been all day, right? I'll put this over here so you can see. Down 0.23 right there. And Nvidia right here is up. So I'm not preferring the short. I prefer the long, so I'm going to wait for that break. Long story short, it's SMCI time.
No surprise here. It looks like there's a collaboration between Supermicro and AMD being announced, obviously, during the AMD event. Looks like they're going to introduce a GPU system under the EPYC flagship chip there, as well as the MI325X, not the cutting-edge 350 that we heard more about today, which is supposed to take on the Blackwell, but good nonetheless, guys, all for data centers. Good look for SMCI.
Yeah, it's down.
I haven't
like
looked at it
2
today.
1/4. I gotta get rid of this trend line here. This is another stock, and you can throw AVGO out there too. That, like I said, I'm pretty convinced that a few things would have gone differently in the space had it not been for this AMD event. Because look at the cruise that this was on: bottoming tail candle underneath 45, clear reversal. Look at you had a top clean at 47. It retested it, and then we failed. Like all of these charts, like so many of these charts, I shouldn't say all because not every chip name looks exactly the same. But in the chat, there was just a great point about Broadcom double top off of yesterday's high for a break. And I'm like, yeah, it looks very good. SMCI looks like it could be a breakout, trending the upside off of 47. I just feel like Sean said, Nvidia is going to break 135. And I don't see either of those two. I don't see SMCI breaking 47, and I don't see AVGO breaking 186.5 before Nvidia takes 135. So once we cross that bridge, if one of these other breakouts is still available, like SMCI 47, or as I was just pointing out, Broadcom, not today's high, but like Broadcom monster yesterday, this double top in here, Nvidia is going to get there first. And then after that happens, you can work to some of these other ones, and SMCI does belong in that group. Only because it's not, you have all these chip names, and we haven't really mentioned, Micron's the strongest one out of all of them. Micron's the one that's up almost 4% here today. Don't have a story as to reason why, but the chips have been absolutely, most of them have been absolutely flying in here. So SMCI could break 47, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Micron tried to break the 200 period moving average. This is actually a couple of closes above here. And this is one I was looking to get into in the personal account. Although I did buy half of what I wanted to on Snowflake because of the crappy price that the run gave me. Sometimes the stock runs too far.
Yeah, that's what it is, right? But you know what? When you look back at it, you're not going to remember.
I won't care.
If it was $1 or $2 different or whatever it is. All right, so just getting out some more Google right now because of the same reason. If we break lower, we might as well start to get out of these positions. We're still long Google here, off of VWAP again. So very, very simple trading. Let's take another piece out here as we're at the 50 period. And we've done absolutely nothing now for 15 minutes. So I'll be sick to myself if I just say I'm waiting for 40s and I can take 25s or 23s, whatever I just said I'm offering. See? Oh, damn. All right, Daniel. We'll have to punch out. Okay, we get some 17s. Okay, fine. I just punched out 17s there a little bit. All right. That's the frustrating part of life of a trader. Hey, what's up? So we'll take that out there. Now we'll see what happens moving forward here on this trade for Google. We have a small piece left. Same thing with the TQs. We're waiting for that. But SMCI, I haven't traded that in a minute. We traded it that one day and I lost on it. I think that was trying to go back and forth at $48. So, you know, that's going to be a pretty key level right there, 47. I mean, Neil just broke down all the levels. There's not much else to say. I'm relatively flat on the market right now. So SMCI, like the stock. I think it's interesting since it's post-split. But remember, there's a gap fill here. If I go over to SMCI here on the e-signal charts, let me just get it to you because it has the split adjusted. I'll show you what part I'm interested in. Right into here. Right where was 50? Yeah, it was right. Oh, now the 200. Now the 50 period is actually lower than that. But just breaking above 50 here, which was that top wick on the daily. That's kind of what I'm talking about. That would get us closing and breaking above the 50 period moving average. So looks real sweet down here, but it looks, in my opinion, even better if we can start a different trend and get this to break that $50 mark and give us that 50 period break. That's an SMA that I like to look at there on the daily chart. So I like it, but I like it better above 50.
No real catalyst today on Apple, guys, but Jefferies did chime in, reiterating their hold rating on Apple with that 212, 213 price target. Yeah, not really doing much, guys. Down 0.46. I took it a couple times during the midday show, but there isn't a whole lot to report about today.
Apple? I haven't traded Apple today. I'm trying to figure out what they're talking about on that. I have the thing up. I'm watching Lisa Su here. I couldn't figure out what they were just talking about. I'm not listening to it. It's very tricky. Usually I would listen to the event, but then when we're trying to hear Sharif in our ear and then have like tabs going, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. I don't have an execution on Apple. It's the level that held that kind of, I'd say kind of frustrates me. At the moment that you were looking at these dip buys, I mean, that's when I was trading Nvidia. So that's the, that's the one I was going for. So I can't really complain about it. But you basically liquidity grabs at 227.50, which was the prior high. Bullish. So even though it's down 0.5%, the fact that you dip right into the supply zone, come right back out and find more support, then 227.50 is confirmed as support for me. I don't know that you get a chance to trade it again today. If you weren't making that bottom when everything got dragged down there just now, I'm not sure we're going to be able to see that price again on Apple. So we're going to be hands off unless there's some kind of a crazy move downside for me on Apple. It's Alphabet. Only because there's no other chance to mention this one. Basically back in Alphabet off of VWAP is the only trade I'm in. There was a liquidity grab. Doesn't really matter what happened at VWAP, but it was quite the hefty liquidity grab underneath. I just got long back up through it, and we're going to try and reload if we bounce off VWAP again on Alphabet for me. Apple, probably not going to touch.
Look, new banner. Very, very proud. Right there, the new logo that looks like something else that I'm not going to say. Right there. But what I want to say, because we're on Oupsies when we're on Apple right now. So let's go down here, and just look at this because we already are long Apple. We like the 228 area. That's kind of where it is right now. We were lucky enough to post that up here today. We made a couple notes here about why we liked it. We like to dip into monthly resistance, right? Resistance turns into support. So that was there at 228. But the thing is that, again, we have a new mentality, man. We do not need to strike immediately. We can wait. So that's what we did. So we let Apple fall down. Thought maybe it found a base there. We were lucky enough not to get stopped out because I was going to use 227 there as a level. We should have used 228. That's what we wrote down. But that's our first take right there at 228. But then, we didn't have that many shares, which I thought was pretty responsible because we weren't just layering into something right that early. Now you're going to say this is still pretty early. That's 9:35. That's 9:40. Our last fill right there is 9:47. But again, we were looking at some levels down there at 227. thought there was a chance to hold. We had a decent position size. And I told you that we had that position on when this happened. And we were like, I'm riding with Apple today. It was an idea that we had on the board. It was I mean, now the TQs might be my P&L number one, but honestly, off the jump, it was Apple. So, you know, just like Russell Wilson, he didn't ride too long with the Broncos there when he was saying, we ride, or whatever that was. He rode his out of town there in 1 year. But that was Nathaniel Hackett's fault. And you can clearly see that Nathaniel Hackett is also creating Jets. Oh, they got rid of him today?
Well, they got demoted from play calling, so I mean, it's
whatever, man. They fired Robert Saleh.
It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, they should have fired him. But anyways, if Aaron Rodgers is there, probably Hackett's not going anywhere. But at the end of the day, so there's the move up. We rode with Apple today, and it was a good one. That's, you know, like, I'm going to try to make a play like this a day. Yesterday, we lost on one of them. Today, we won. So, you know, we'll put that in our pocket and be thankful for Apple. All right, advanced micro devices, Sharif.
Big AI event today. I don't know if it's still going on, but a lot of announcements. So we'll talk about one of them right now. It's the Ryzen AI Pro processor. It's an AI-specific processor for these business PCs. Look out for that. We also got more information on the MI325 and the MI350. You had collaborations with the likes of Satya Nadella, HP, Lenovo, as well as many other companies. I gave you the SMCI look as well. You know, Lisa, she came with her best game today, guys. She had the baby blue on. It wasn't the Azure blue, but it was good enough.
Yeah, they just had it on right now. Fabian just was showing it. It doesn't really matter.
It's boring.
Who cares? It is actually quite boring, but there's a lot of blue being worn. Not that I have an issue with it. I'm literally wearing all blue myself, but I don't like the fact that it got sold off way more than I think most would have anticipated here. We're not surprised when we have sell the news events for these. I wasn't expecting 5% down on AMD the way it was breaking back out. At this time, all you got is the 200-period moving average at $162 because it's blown through pretty much everything else right now on AMD. It was a better stock this morning off of VWAP than late. Plan to play off the 165 level there, which didn't work. And then look what happens when we eventually lose the 165. It keeps trying to claw to the upside. I think there's a little bit of a trend that it can try to break out, but like I'd be interested in maybe playing a reversion, like a trend reversion break on AMD when they're finished with the event. While it's going on, nobody seems to want to buy this thing with any effort. And when you have stronger stocks like Nvidia and Micron and SMCI and Broadcom, you know, just insert other chip name that isn't AMD today. There's other places to look for some long ideas that can set up. But if they finish the event and we break this trend line, yeah, I'd look for a reversion long, just a much more patient one instead of just reading the tape. And because what would happen is you'd look for like the traditional like tape reads and entry candles, and there'd be zero follow through on the move. All right, so I just kept taking those like quick little pot shots. One of which, this one was silly because I just watched it pop like 60 cents in the money, decided to take absolutely nothing out, which is stupid because it was in a downtrend. And then like 20 seconds later, it was breaking. I was essentially getting out of the trade. You got to take the profits when you're in a downtrend. That was kind of silly of me there. Otherwise, I would have actually been flat on that move if I grabbed some profits. AMD bleeding, and until they stop the event, I'm not looking at any longs.
I'm just going to, like, I have like 5% left of this Apple trade. I mean, it's still a trade, but I'm just going to use VWAP here. I don't want to be sitting in something and everybody thinking that, you know, I'm in a decent sized trader because I'm not. So 228, if we break, I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to use these bottoms right here because I still feel strongly, not strongly, but if it breaks VWAP, I want to be either short something or definitely not in long. So that's 228.17. So we'll go 228.16 right now. If that breaks, great. 228.16. There's the order going out. 100% will stop out if that does happen. We're at
I gotta correct something.
Go ahead.
So my thing wasn't live. The event's over. Oh, I wasn't live, so I just like hit the like.
Oh, wait a minute. Live on YouTube there.
No, I did.
Okay.
It's what's over.
Now it's over.
I wasn't before, so I saw it still going on. No, it is dead. So if it can break this trend, I am going to look a close above this trend line. I'm going to look long. So just thank you guys, everybody. I didn't hit the live button.
You know what makes me nervous here is that we have these engineers here, and they're looking up right now at water pipes. And the thing is, like, if these water pipes burst, we're going to have a problem over here.
I shouldn't have looked up.
So we better make sure that this gets reviewed very, very carefully because, you know, one day it might be like, not live. There we go. not live at Trader TV because of water damage. But I was more concerned actually about some of the dust that can fall down from these.
You mean the dust that isn't collecting on all this equipment
my
here?
hat's just sitting here. All of a sudden, it's like full of dust.
You ever wonder why I'm sneezing all the time? It's because like all of these rigs and lights, it's like there's no one dusting it.
Yeah,
it's really.
Yeah.
And I have bad allergies.
Sometimes I come in on the weekend and start dusting around.
I appreciate that. It's kind of you because someone's got to.
It is what it is. Someone's got to do something around here.
So we're done the rundown. There was something else I was going to get to, and it wasn't any of the names that were there. It'll come to me. I don't. Oh, you know what? Someone had asked me, like, oh, so where did you get into snow? I keep referencing snow and complaining about the fact that it did this move in the morning. I'm not really complaining about it, but remember the break of the 50 period closing above it. I was looking for an entry today. I was like, yeah, it'll probably just go sideways because we'll have a sideways day. It's decided to break it out. So I basically, my PI just took 122.5. You'll wonder why that price. Well, look at a 15-minute because that's where it was barcoding at lunchtime. That's where I executed, like right in the middle there. But because it did this big move and there was no chance to get 20, I just kind of went half in, and I'll wait a couple of days, maybe even next week, just to confirm that we close above that 50 period or open it up next week above that 50 period on the daily. It's just a breakout that I've been waiting for to make a play in my TFSA. That's all, which is kind of like your tax. It's a tax-free savings account in Canada. Like most people do, they're like swing style trading. Long-term stuff goes in the RRSP. There's equivalents in the US, but here for us, it's our TFSA. So Snowflake being dragged higher by Palantir, finally breaking out yesterday and then continuing the move today. I don't really have a trade for it this afternoon because of the barcode that's going on. Unless it wants to take out this top. That would at least be interesting.
Okay, all right, let's do this right now then. Okay, man, the TQs came back into VWAP again, so we're going to go long the market one more time here, but this is with caution because it's only 2:30 right now. We're going to have those imbalances coming through. We've already taken our shot here once. We'll try it again against that bottom of 50. If this breaks 73.50, we're gone. I'm not going to put on the same amount of shares or anything like that we had before. I like the first test. I mean, we got a test there. That was a wick. I like that test rate there. But we already went to the 200 and came all the way back. So sometimes, when it shows its hand, I don't need to be forcing this play because it could have kept going there. It didn't. So we'll have to wait to see. NASDAQ now underneath. We're trying it. So I just bought 81s again. Not again, but that's what I bought. So we bought some 81s. It might have been 80, but at the end. Oh, no, it's my bad. It was 78s. Yeah, my bad. It was 78s. So we got 78s right there on that dip. So there it goes. Yeah, we're going to give this to that break. That's 55. We're going to give it to 50. So 30 cents down, 40 cents down about, well, we're long at 74. So 25 to 30 cents with slippage on the downside. We'll see if we can get a retracement back up. We'll take something out if it can come back into O's or so because that's how we trade, but looking for another move higher. It might be tough because we do have that event and we do have different things happening right now, but that event's now over with AMD. So what we might want to do is go over to Nvidia. All right. Wow. Pretty nice little stair pattern here to the downside without a green candle. Now it looks like we finally found some support back at its 2 p.m. bottom. So that could be something. We stopped at 135. So now we might be getting ready to go back up. So there's 135. Stop, break back down, definitely give a bottom, give the biggest candle in volume right there on the bottom, and come right back in and basically wick that bottom again. Would have liked it to see a bigger candle of volume there, but I think Nvidia might have the goods to go back up. But oh boy, here we go. That's another trade right there, boys and girls. So we just take that long right there on that dip, which was 20,398 up to now 20,413. So 15 handles like that right there on the future. So pretty happy with that. As I said, I said we're taking a piece out here, so we will. That's just a small piece. That's that 10%. Let's see if it gets going again. I am waiting at 74 even where the 50-period moving average is. And then if we go, oh boy, we'll see a move here. So we'll see. That's the play, trying to hold it for those tops again.
Yeah, that's what we like to see. The market's bouncing. I think
just missed it.
Yeah, but just because the event's over, we just wicked the bottom again on AMD. So with the market bouncing, it just made a wick bottom. The trend line's set. It would have to close above. It looks like 164. If that can happen, I don't think maybe it gets to VWAP. if that kind of a move happens, I don't even think about VWAP there. I'd be thinking 165, then 165 half. We just got Alphabet. Alphabet's now putting in a higher low at 162, like 12 to 13. So just going to reload off of that level, look to play the range, see if it can go higher. And then there's another name which is catching my attention on a pullback. The Chinese ADRs were pretty strong today. And Alibaba up 2 points, just pulled right back into a prior high and is attempting to bounce off of it. So if it can hold the line here at it's like 110 quarter, show a little green, pop up a little bit. I want to look for a long back into the high of the day. The thing with these Chinese ADRs is, as I always say, like if you get into it off a good bounce or a level, it could be VWAP, could be support. If it doesn't start going quickly in the afternoon, then it might not go at all. So I'm just going to throw that one out there. Of course, AMD. The second I'm like, this could be happening. It looks like it just made a wick bottom. We're going to break back out on this trend line, right back to the low of the day. AMD is sick right now. There's just no buyers in here at all. Like I'm looking over at Nvidia. Nvidia is about to test VWAP. So reloaded Alphabet, which we might be getting out of if it loses that support level. And then after that, it's an Nvidia VWAP bounce. There's no guarantee it even bounces off VWAP, but it's trending into it. I'm not buying at these levels. Don't want to do it. I want to see some confirmation in here. If we can get some confirmation, bounce off of VWAP, I think that should be the next trade. Need a short idea. I didn't have anything that I was in love with short this morning, with the exception of Mara, which I was in off of VWAP, and then I held on to 10%. Now that we're under 60 thou, I feel like it should be all systems go to short off of VWAP or just short pops in Mara because of the weakness over there in Bitcoin in general. I'd like it to climb to VWAP for an entry. Only 7 or 8 cents away. I feel like we should be able to get there.
Oh, yeah. 7 or 8 cents.
And when I say we, I mean the stock.
In a heartbeat. You know what? Like, you know what the craziest part is? I told you we were at O's, right? With this, like, I'm kind of chuckling because that's the 50-period moving average, right? That's what we use. How close can I zoom in to show you guys? I was at 74. It was right in front of us when that happened, so we didn't get that fill. We did not get filled. It bounced off 74 and went down. I've re-put into 95, and we'll figure out if we get that right now, but what a miss that was as it's falling back in. We were only trying to get another 10%. So not the end of the world. I just want to show you guys that that's like sometimes what happens, and you know, you put it right at the spot and then you miss it. So yeah, what was us at some point? So all right, so that's that. We'll look to reload it again. I'm going to try to take a little bit more on the downside here if we're able to do that on the TQs. And in fact, I'll just to tell you where I'm bidding. I'm bidding 60. Is that right? 67s? Yeah. Okay. That's it. So 67s. Why would I? Oh, yeah, that's where we got filled last time. Okay, so we're bidding right there against 50s. And that's that. We don't, like I said, man, we don't need to be sitting in this for any kind of a reason at all. What is this? What's up, Day Trader Cut? In the chat. Anybody wants to ask us anything in the chat, we're here for that. Chat for that. What's this red on my screen? And why are all the numbers in my account going down? I would say that's because you're probably in the wrong names. I don't know, or maybe the wrong prices. But no, just, you know what, that's what it is, man. I know that's kind of just tongue-in-cheek for both of us there. But yeah, this is just one of those days here today. And I don't want anybody to panic. Like, I'm not panicking. I don't think anybody needs to. This is where the market opened up today, right here. This is 8:30, so 9:30 our time. So you're opened up at 20,380. Okay, give or take. I don't know. I'm not looking exactly. We are at 23.98. So it's 18 handles and or 0.13% difference than where we were off the open. So we've had a good move up. I mean, if you bought the tops, then you bought the tops at 20,500. I mean, that's another thing. Psychologically, like, you get to 20,500. You know, it's kind of one of those things where, again, doesn't matter that I wasn't here, but it's kind of like that Nvidia top. Nobody's changed their mind on Nvidia. It's not like all of a sudden people are like, wow, I don't think the valuation for Nvidia should be at 135. It should be at 133.80. It's like, that has nothing to do with it. It comes up to some key levels and then it sees it and there's not enough sort of velocity to break it. there's not enough shares there on the bid, there's more on the offer, and supply and demand kind of forces this thing down, which, by the way, we're right at VWAP. So I'm buying it.
I was going to say, NVIDIA's at VWAP right now as we speak, so it just made the dip.
How about that?
I'm looking to buy it the same way. Like, it is what it is on NVIDIA. Although I'm putting a price target of $420.69.
Yeah, man.
Is my long-term price target on NVDA. That is 42069. Highly scientific level that I'm coming up with there on NVIDIA. It's not.
No, Neil, everyone gets it. Don't worry. Yeah.
I know. I'm just being very facetious about that. Oh, the other thing
how did you come up with that? Is that like a forward multiple or what was?
Well, you know what? So what I was doing is I was going over their cash flow.
Right,
and,
that's what you have to do on that analysis.
Income statement, and balance sheet, all that good stuff, and I came up with.
So we just went long NVIDIA right here, below 134. We'll give it a little bit of room there. 133. I mean, VWAP is there at 75. I mean, different platforms will be a little bit different, but we're roughly there now. So 133.75, 133.80 for your VWAP pleasures on NVIDIA. So we'll average in much more down near VWAP. This is a starting position for me. We'll see if it can work. All right, TQs. Oh my, we came all the way back. All right, so I'm going to have to, we didn't come all the way back, but we came enough. I don't know where we just hit there. Oh man, did we hit like 93 there again? I was at 95. How close did we get? Are you kidding me? We got to 94? This cannot be happening. All right, so now we're at 89. If the next high is 89 again, then that's it, man. Closing the account, and Obi can just, Obi, you here? All right, let's see if we can get that. So right now, NVIDIA, let's see if this one drops down in. We're going to watch out for VWAP. It bounced completely off of that, so we had missed that trade. Should have been here. You good, Obi? Yeah, he's okay. Yeah. Oh, we just missed a trade by 1 penny, so that's all. So, okay, here we go. Let's see if we can get in. There he is. Hey, Obi. Oh, he was. Right, exactly. Smart man. He says no NVIDIA, no Obi right now. So we'll wait to see if that can come through. I definitely like that strategy. We are going to be bidding down here at VWAP. So, despite all the talk here and all the fun we're having, we do have to try to make some serious trades here. So I am looking for that trade here on NVIDIA. Another
stock with another intraday offering. Looks like JTAI. This was that penny stock about to do 1 billion shares. They announced a pricing of a 2.4 million registered direct offering. That's Jet AI. This is what's happening to Jet AI. Man, this was, it was cruising. This was probably really good for some scalp trading, I'm going to assume, based on the volume. But you're now back underneath 10 cents. Well, it was 9 cents yesterday, and now it's 8 cents. So continuing to flush here is Jet AI. I don't wonder if there's a trade off of this 11 level. See that little wick to 11? I wonder if I can get something. Oh, no. NVIDIA lost VWAP.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to slap to fail on that. Is this going to halt? No, it can't be at a halt band. Maybe it's not SSR.
The market is right now, I don't know if something's just happened right there, but the market is whoopsie daisy going to the downside. Everything's falling out right now as the market goes boom to the downside.
Oh, we don't have locates on.
Yeah, we'll give back a little bit there. The TQs do drop into that level there. Oh man, look at that liquidation point again there on the TQQs. Whoa. Like no news, like what's up with this? Let's see if we can get a little bit of a bounce back here now. So we just got hit there out at 50s again, literally the bottom. That always happens to us. We got to switch these spots. Okay, nice move back upside right now. Nvidia does go down into those levels as well. I mean, barring something happening now, I don't know. We're long Nvidia right now at 84s. There's just like, look at that drop again. That's twice that's happened. Like I have to have a stop there. Not on Nvidia, on the TQs. I have to have that stop there. Because if that continues again, like that's twice in a row, we take advantage of it there, and we don't give it back. We don't give it all back, but we give some back there on that move back in. So we'll go long again here, back on that. I don't know why that happened. Like I don't want to call it a liquidity grab. Like I don't know what the purpose of that was.
It was a liquidity grab.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like what's up with that? All right, so Nvidia right now long at 84s.
That's hilarious. I just went to offer in front of 11 on GTAI and accidentally, instead of putting in like the cents, I put it in like dollars. You would have, if you were here on my chart, you would have seen me just offer like $1.10 instead of 11. But it's weird. Like I went to
Nvidia.
I went to offer a short in here and thought we didn't have any locates, but we do have free locates on the stock, so I can go short in JTAI. So gonna get an offer out in front of 11 there. If in case it popped back up, I might throw it to the 10 level. It is almost SSR. Is it SSR?
Which?
GTA. I didn't check to see whether yesterday it was.
You can just see on our screen.
Oh yeah.
It should
It's
say
E,
no.
so it's
I
I
don't
don't think it
know
is.
what that means.
Either way, offering in,
Let's
it's
go
priced
Nvidia.
at 9 cents. So if it does try to break back above, I might play for the short side of the trade.
Oh.
I got out at the 3/4 mark
Correct.
on Nvidia, but I'm waiting for the confirmation candle. Like, that's a liquidity grab. I want the green on the other side of it. The other thing that's happening is, oh, wait a minute.
Oh boy.
AMD just closed above the trend line. I just looked over. Thank you. I got away from JTAI. AMD just closed above the trend line. Long engaged. Event over. AMD above trend. Going long.
Man, the double middle finger is at Nvidia because we have it. It comes right back up to stone cold. You know, thank you, Nvidia, for not stopping out. Like, you came very, very close, my guy, to stopping out right there on that grab. We do get stopped. Look, we're back into the Qs. Like, get stopped out, bought it back, same candle, right back up to VWAP. I don't, you know, like, it's frustrating. Like, I know it must be frustrating to you guys as well. It's frustrating to me here as well, seeing some of these things dance around. I'm going to offer, there's probably some kind of Fed speak right now or something, but we'll see. We'll get another piece right now out of Nvidia. We're just, look, it's 15 cents. We'll put some pieces in and hopefully it can come back up and get that 50-period moving average. My next offer is 134.15s. We'll see if we can get that. What's up, Adara?
Not seeing any news here on the market with that last drop, but it's worth noting TD having some more updates here. If you remember, around 1 p.m. today, we did have the announcement here that TD Bank is going to have to pay $3 billion in order to settle its money laundering related case. There's actually, apparently, this is the largest bank to ever have to face these types of fines, according to the attorney general involved. Also, the DOJ actually saying that TD has failed to monitor $18.3 trillion worth of customer activity, allowing for 3 money laundering networks to transfer over $670 million using TD accounts. Just now we have coming out here that TD is saying they're expecting one-time costs for asset reduction and their investment portfolio reposition, which is required for the settlement, to be up to $1.5 billion after tax. So TD saying $1.5 billion charges here with regards to asset reduction in order to make sure they're fulfilling what the DOJ is asking here. Also saying that 2025 will be, quote, a transitional year for U.S. retail as it again restructures to reflect what's going on here with regards to the settlement. So TD Bank, more news pushing to the downside here, guys.
Some Canadian banks, those little rascals, up to no good, those Canadian banks. All right, fraudulent behavior, TD Bank. Let's go. Okay, so I lied. There was big size there at 134, so I did put an offer there at 134. We still have half of this trade for Nvidia. It's a good one. Let's let it go, man. We're almost back to our day's high again on this market. If we didn't have this, like, do you know that we literally made the bottom here of this trade? Like, at least I'm trading with other big funds here and like everybody's getting liquidated. So that way, at least I know that I'm on the right damn track. But you know what? Let's fire off the hot dog cannon there anyways. Because we're back in it. And, you know, all I can tell you is sometimes these trades will happen. Sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll be sitting there and it won't liquidate you. Other times it did. Like, it just breaks 50. Like, we got 50. Like, we got, I think maybe it was 50 what we wound up getting there. I'll double check. 49 changes. That was the bottom. You're not going to find, so if you want to see how many share size I'm trading with, you could probably go find it if you just find a 49 and change fill there. But there it goes, man, down to the bottom. We got stopped out, but we did buy it back. So we're in it. We just take another piece out at VWAP, then at the 50-period moving average. So it's a good trade all in all, but definitely one that sort of was a tightrope one there for sure. Our Apple gets out, and again, like, same kind of deal there. It breaks VWAP. I'm fine with it because it did wind up breaking VWAP. At least it broke a key level, so I could say that's fine. But again, kind of a grab there, right? So this is the problem trading, not just at this time, but like when that can happen, that's pretty. It doesn't give me much confidence in trading more shares, that's for sure. But I just feel like you gotta stick with the plan here and just go with it. And if you get stopped out on those things, then that's what happens. You can see I'm still in a great mood, and that just happens to you. So you might give back a couple bucks, but you make a couple sometimes as well. So we'll see what winds up happening now for this. At least we're back into these names, and things are working out well for us. So we've got Google long there at 161.60s. That's kind of from the morning, that position here. So we like that one off VWAP. Like, again, we could have been sitting there. We should have been. And that's another example. Like, if I'm sitting there, then I'm lucky enough to grab that event. Right. And so anyways, that's what it is. That's the life of a trader, as I keep saying. So, all right, let's just keep on going with it. Nvidia, TQQ, same old stuff. And now I see that you're in AMD.
Well, I'm going to show.
Why is mine dark blue, but yours is it?
I
actually
don't know.
It should be different.
I was going to ask the same question. There was a question. Well, you're going to see it live here, but where would your out be on AMD in and around the same spot? So on a mean reversion trade here. So here's the close above. There's the higher low. There's only two places I'm ever putting a stop there. It's either here underneath that candle or this one at 60. I elected the 60 because I think it had more upside on AMD. So I only ever put it in two places, which will mean, because I put a stop in, that, whoops, oh yeah, I'm on the Google chart. I was going to be all dramatic about it and then was going to show the execution. Then I remember why I was using the black chart. No, it was right underneath the 60 level. We got one take profit up there in front of 64, but now you're right back underneath. So that little mean reversion, I like that setup. Usually I want to take it like step by step, prior high here, maybe into 165.5, VWAP if it's really strong, but obviously AMD, it just couldn't get going. It still has a chance to hold on the other side of the trend line. You can kind of now start bouncing off the bottom of the trend line, but that's not enough. I need to see it set up another couple of higher lows for another long trade because it's been bleeding. We did get back in that liquidity grab underneath that got me out of Nvidia. Did not get me out of Google because it had done the same thing before. So similar, there's liquidity grab, confirm the long, go back into this one off of VWAP. I'm just going to double check SMCI. Now that's still chilling at VWAP, and Broadcom was the other one that we're looking at for some strength. Broadcom just kind of at VWAP, and neither one of those looking that much more appealing there. So back into, well, reload into Google, and gonna have to wait for some more confirmation on AMD.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it broke the trend, but it needs to put in some kind of higher low. Like that's the setup I wanted, but you now all of a sudden have to set it up again. Might take a few minutes there. I use a 3-minute chart, so at least 3 or 4 minutes of data are going to be needed for this to look like a better long.
All right, everybody. I'm going to take another out right there, so it's going to be a good trade. We'll hit a little bit of a bang there. Future's good right now. All the longs seem to be fine. But again, like all of these grabs are to the bottom right now, so I don't really know what to think about that. Well, like there's been nothing spiking high. Everything's spiking low. So that's interesting for me just to see that. But I don't know what that means. All right, so we'll wait on that. Let's just remember that, because that doesn't happen too often. Like that's back to back right here. One at 12:47. I mean, look at the volume too, right? Even throughout the day here. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing. I mean, that's whatever. We talked about that. That's 20,500. I'm expecting a lot happening there. I don't care about the wicks in the first 5 minutes. It's just more like there's one again down to VWAP. And I'm not really seeing anything to the top. Like that's 7 handles right there. That's not what I'm talking about. This was 20,398 down to 73. That's like 25 handles to the downside. So a little bit of a difference there when we're looking at what these futures are trying to do here. So, all right, let's just keep that there. Hopefully that was the grab, and then now people will be like, oh my God, we missed it. We got to buy now, and this stock can continue to go higher. So we're at 06 right now. You've just basically the high of this whole move. Give it to me, and then we'll wait for a little bit more on that one. Palantir, I mean, this was a really great trade there today, and this is one where we were just lucky enough, to be honest with you, to grab that bottom. So that was a pretty good one there. To be able to get that. We have the bottom by like 4 pennies or so, and then we took it out right up here, right in today's high, and then we didn't hold anything after that. It started to rip up, and it turned out to be another decent trade there for Palantir upside right there. Coinbase could be looked at. I mean, we have IBIT as well if we're looking at Bitcoin. For me, we're still looking at that $54,000 area or so for some possible support. So that would be down in here like 3150 or so for IBIT. So that's still a little ways to go. I'm not sure what the story is about crypto, but we are starting to go lower there. 59 is not great. We were just at 64. And then we had Brian Shannon on the show where he talked about lightening up. I think he said he got out of a third of it at 64. So congratulations. That was a good trade right there to get something out. And then I told him, well, let's just make sure you just hodl the rest for that 100K. And he laughed. So maybe he's not going to do that, but that's something that a lot of people want to do. So I don't really, I mean, I don't know. Neil sometimes looks, you used to look at UVXY. I haven't heard you say that in a minute, but.
Sometimes I'll look at UVXY like in extreme situations.
We're talking about.
Yeah, like the last time
There's Nvidia,
the other
by the
day
way.
I was, and then on
Nice.
Fed Day, I was looking at that. Like sometimes on like extreme days, maybe during an economic number.
Where's that number?
I might look at VIX. You will,
24.
like here at Real
Oh, boy.
Trading, it's UVXY that we trade. So a lot of times I'll look at that. It basically moves in exactly the same fashion, but I'm not looking at it right now. Like I'm basically looking at the chip names and the future in here. And then obviously like Alphabet, which I'm in. Can't even, that GTAI won't pop up enough for me to get a short. I'm sitting on the offer of it. If I get a fill, you might see that penny stock pop in. Every price will be rounded to the next even penny. So if I'm short at like 9.87 cents, it'll just say 10. But you might see that one pop in on the offering. Google's trying to break this 162.3. Once it does that, I want a 40. And Havana Woody, what level do you see a reversion on DJT tomorrow? You're thinking about a stink bid 21, which would be SSR. I haven't looked at DJT since I got out of it when we were doing the lesson of the day. So I was short here on the trend reversal, went about 40 pennies in the money for me, and then the last bit stopped out, trailed that, I should say. We just kind of held it for the dream at VWAP in there on DJT. It was a good short, but it could have been better because the initial short stopped out after profit. That short eventually didn't get the bottom. I think if it does fail here, $20 is a 50 period, $20.50 is local support. It was previous resistance. So 21 looks as good as any technical price to me. I'm just not completely convinced it's an automatic reversion. Like it tried to go to that 25 level and pull back, and it's still here. I expected we'd get to this level and we'd be dropping in here today. So if we actually close at 24, I'm not convinced that this is done just yet. I thought it was going to fall apart at this level. And all it did is go back like a couple of percentage points when it's up 15%. That's nothing. I thought it would drop at least a third of today's move. So a bit of a disappointment on the short in DJT. I mean, it was positive twice, but you're not looking for, like, to me, I'm looking for that last little bit to give me like 22.5. Like a huge move when you revert on DJT. So I'm not sure it's done yet.
All right. Just got to make sure I just tagged the right guy there at Alpha Trends. Yeah, there's so many different things here. I just wanted to say that right here. We just put this up right now. Go follow me at TraderTV Sean. As we are just ripping right now, we are actually quite pleased with what has been happening right here. So there's Nvidia, man. Buying some Nvidia off VWAP over here. Let's see if we can get it back to 135. Brian Shannon's on the show quite frequently every Tuesday, pretty much every single Tuesday there. He's helped me a lot with that. So there's the dip buy. There it is up to the 50-period moving average. Wow. That's a good trade for me. All right, here goes the TQQs as well. I mean, that happened. That happened. What can we do? All right, so we'll just continue to look out to see where we go from here. I'm thinking this is not a bad spot, 70, even right here. Let's just put an offer. I don't want to miss this again. All right, well, there we go. I took a 98. Forget about it. So we'll take that, and that's a great trade for us. So we'll put that one in our pocket as well. Good one there on TQQs. So dip buy. We did get stopped. I mean, we were all here trading this live together. So hope you understand the purpose of what we're doing. And then Nvidia, again, at the 50-period moving average. I'm still holding about 30%, I'd say, maybe a little bit less than that or so of this trade. I mean, when this bounced straight back to 134, we had a lot of pressure there at 134, like just kept on hitting, not going. We talked about missing levels by pennies. So when we're long down here in the 70s, we got to take advantage of that. So we took some out at O's, and then there we go, climbing higher and higher and higher into the end of that trade. So we'll wait to see. Look at that 50-period moving average again. So we got to do that, and that's what we've been doing. So that's real trading. We talk about that all the time here. Make sure you follow our #1 sponsor, Real Trading. That's the platform we're using. Unfortunately, unavailable in the United States, but a great platform nevertheless to get your trading goals through. All right, so that's that trade. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for Nvidia. I do want to see if we do test 135 again. It's now the power hour in 30 seconds. It's almost 3 o'clock. We'll see where that's going. Will spiders finish green for the day?
We should have a poll up for that. How close?
Oh, you can do the NASDAQ or the SPY. Doesn't really matter. Oops, I just typed in SPY into my futures contract. That would not be good.
NASDAQ's closer.
NASDAQ's closer to green?
Yeah.
5.32.
Oh, no. What the?
I don't know. What do you think? Do you have any opinion on the SPY?
On the NASDAQ? I mean, I
don't know, whatever one.
NASDAQ, yes. SPY, I don't know, just because SPY is a little bit weaker, but I feel like the NASDAQ can get there. Gotta get that level 2 back up there. Sorry, I was just looking at that JTAI. Like it's kind of weird, man. Like I was about to get filled, and then what's the best way to think about it? So there were a lot of shaving is going on in this stock. So you post an offer, and then a bunch of other ones just, or it could be a bid too, and then a bunch of others just go in front of you on this stock. So it's kind of behaving a little bit strange. This is the one that had the offering. I'm just going to cancel my offer in front of 10 because I don't necessarily need that one anymore. But on the line of the futures, when I see that liquidity grab, like I was in Nvidia when it grabbed downside there and was AMD. AMD hasn't really rebounded that much. Nvidia has. Google's trying to. But like you get that kind of a candle, I'm expecting you can now reverse back to the upside. The only concern would be here. Let's do this visually.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll see it in my head and then I won't bother.
Like to visualize.
So you have like this kind of channel which is going to the downside. And so what I'm kind of waiting for, and I think makes a little bit of sense to wait for, is a break out the top of this channel. Like let's close above or get like some kind of a really good price off the bottom. Like to me, it just needs to close above to confirm this breakout, because all that's happening is you're getting like rinse underneath, slight bounce to a lower high, and then rinse and repeat, which is a downward trend right now on the NQ. So I think just paying a little bit of attention to that is kind of what I'm seeing. And if you're holding on to a support level, I think that's a little bit better. Like in the case of Alphabet, like it's doing, while you're getting the trend down in the futures, you're getting a sideways action in the stock. So if the stock's going sideways while that trend down is happening, then I think it's okay. I was just looking for other names that might be exploiting that pattern, and I found Apple here. Like Apple's doing a similar thing. Liquidity grab underneath VWAP. It's now the second time it's done it, and holding sideways, at least in the last little bit. It's a little bit of a downtrend more than Google, but I do like it above VWAP. So gonna go over to Apple here. Havana Woody, I did tell you 24.47 would be the place to look short because that was your target to take off risk. You're talking about DJT. I was just looking at that short on DJT because it was close to 25 and it did that mean reversion setup. But 24.47, if people are taking profit, always think about the counterparty. If 25 is a big level on DJT, which it was on that daily chart, lesson of the day was about who's your counterparty. If longs are looking at that area to take profit in front of 24.5, that's all the more reason to look for some mean reversion trades. Like let it get to the level. There's a million times you could have tried the short on DJT, and each of them would have been just about as good, like here or here. But to me, I waited for what I thought was the best one. It ended up being no different from the others. 30 cents, 40 cents, no better. But you still have to pick your spot and wait for it. And now I like VWAP on Apple. So if the market gets to the top of that trend line and comes back in, I'll look for another liquidity grab on Apple here and see if we can't get that one to the long side. If you're still wondering about AMD, anybody, it is just gliding lower. I can't tell you how broken this stock feels right now. It broke the trend and is still holding the trend bottom here on AMD. If we can come to my chart for a second. This was when I got in on the trend break. It broke down underneath that support. I got out. It is still riding the bottom. Good news is it hasn't made a fresh low of the day yet. Stress on the yet.
I was trying to see aggregate pricing of each stock in the end of each season here. I was just looking at a chart here that Adara sent me from the bank. So I'm going to try to figure this out and talk about this. JP Morgan. Bank's performance during earnings season, aggregate pricing of each stock from the beginning to the end of each earnings season. Okay, so JP Morgan right here, Q2 2024 is what we're getting at, 10%. So price move of the stock from the beginning to the end of each earnings season. Okay, so basically what I'm getting here is right now we are getting more upside on these names over the last couple earnings seasons. So I would think that if you're going to be one side or the other, obviously banks really had great performance there as we came out of COVID. Remember, these are the COVID bottoms, basically, 2021. So obviously bank performance out of earnings season, everything was kind of hitting lows there. So there's the performance back out. And it looks like Goldman Sachs looks to be the one that maybe outperforms the rest. I don't know. I'm going to figure this out.
JP looks pretty good.
But
too.
yeah, JP Morgan in the red there as well. Looks like Wells Fargo and then Citi has been sort of underperforming there. Morgan has gray, but Citigroup's red there, so has been red Citigroup is orange, but it's been underneath zero marker there. So we'll find that out what's going on. But it looks to me like right here, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, the worst performer off his last performance. So we're going to go find that out. I'll figure out more about what that means. But thanks to Derek for that, because it's interesting to talk about it because bank season is here. So starting tomorrow morning, we'll get JP Morgan. All right, let me figure this out. We only have 30% of, this came down to VWAP again. Maybe should have, where was I? I'm at 63. How low did that go? 71's there for Nvidia. Okay, we'll take right here. I'll take an 84. I don't know why I just bid 84 there on it. All right, so I just want to check out JP Morgan. We will get another fill here very momentarily. There we go, we just got it on Nvidia. JP Morgan today, wow, yeah, not good. Downside, right? Nice little move there. Really representing that 200 period well. So that's now at 212.30s or so. So if you get back up to there, that could be something. Looking like it wants to break. Again, JP Morgan with earnings coming tomorrow, going to be very, very interesting. Right at a spot, right? We talked about it kind of barcoding and being at the same levels it's been since basically the springtime right now. But what a monster move it's been all year for JPM. So we'll have to wait on all of this and see what winds up happening. But for right now, JP Morgan downside move right now. We'll see what happens into earnings. All right, so we did buy some Nvidia down there, bang. We just told you that we got filled at 84, which we did, and then it just went up into the 90s again on that one. Wow, this is pretty volatile. All right, if we can get this upside, I feel like there's some shares that need to settle down, like people that maybe missed that 135 or
AMD made a new low.
Yeah, so
I mean, basically, to me, that's all that happened.
Yeah, probably. Let's see if Nvidia can get back upside right now.
Yeah, like AMD just, every time it breaks a low, it brings everything with it. Not that it's that big, because AMD's not that big relative to the market, but it can't seem to catch anything. It is the 50 on the SMA. That's the only reason I was looking for a mean reversion trade. Like, it's at a support level, AMD. But we went to Apple because Apple's holding VWAP. So I like stocks that are, in this situation, I'd rather play something long that's not breaking lows of the day, that's bouncing off VWAP, that's bouncing off healthy support, which to me VWAP is. We're already in Google. I finally got that JTAI, but I've been kind of chasing it and then just moving the target in here. It's hard to see, but this is like 9.1, so like 9.1 underneath. I kind of chased it a bit, so got in like half, and I'll give it a tight stop because I don't want to give it back into this 10 level. After what happened to Duo on their offering, where I was sitting in it sideways and just watched it bleed at the end of the day, I want to see if this can do the same thing. So they had the offering, it's now moved to the downside, but the new position was Apple as, wow, 5% now on AMD. There is no bottom here at this point. It's now broken right back underneath. What I was saying about the 200, sorry, I might have said the 50 period, apologies. The 200 period moving average on the daily is right here at 162 and probably like a few cents. So this could be a bounce spot, but you're still about 50 cents away from it. Still needs to set up some kind of a long. I think just sitting out in front of it as an abject disaster. The more I look at it, I like it without the bold dark blue on the position board. I feel like it's easier.
Because it's scrolling. If you have more positions, that's
so it scrolls and it does that?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's better.
I don't know.
No.
All right, well,
like
what's better is this. So we just took a reload on Nvidia, and we just took it out at 97s right there as we just keep on. This is a good animation to show what we're doing right now. It's 308, and the futures are doing nothing, so we're just going to sit here and start to trade some of these levels and see if we can get it going. Yeah, I mean, if it wakes up, that'd be fine. But we're actually really comfortable with what we're doing right now. So, yeah, Nvidia's there. And just to let people know, we're at that 10% mark. We talked, I don't know if we mentioned that. We don't have very many shares left at all for these TQQ, this TQQ trade. So we were just really excited when it got back to VWAP, then the 50 period, then that high. So I am bidding for more, though, if we can get back into this area here, 73.60. And I think we want a little bit more, but maybe not. I'm still thinking... We've broken. Yeah, let's forget about it. I'm not going to reload it. The 50 period moving average right here on the 20 minute is breaking lower. So we've already broken that level, and that level was actually, we probably should be all out of this. That's at 78, 79. So we're actually right here, right now, the 50 period moving average now on the TQQ. So we're starting to break lower on the market, and the market again under VWAP, under. So we'll have to be careful with it. Good out there. Now that I'm thinking about this, honestly, let's just take something out. If I can get some, there we go, again, 87. I know it's a very, very small win. It's 8 cents, but whatever at this point, honestly. Like, If we can get in, I'm thinking lower, whatever profit we can get on these current longs that we have, let's do it. Let's hold something in case we're right. You know, last thing we want to do is get out. But if you sort of get that feeling, and again, this is why I don't think there's anything wrong with looking over at your P&L and saying to yourself, like, trying to preserve a little bit of capital here in case we're wrong. So that's kind of, there we go. So there we go. We get another piece out. So that's good. All right. So you want to talk about a difference of opinion right there, how fast things can change, right? Like, we are kind of in panic mode right here, thinking like, oh my God, it might break lower, right? Looking at these futures, and all of a sudden this happens, and it just gives us it right there back to the 50-period moving average. So we can ho-hum whatever we want, but there's a 30-cent winner right there that we just took on that. Couple different pennies, couple different reloads, good stock here. Nvidia climbing up the board now. No more offers now. I don't have any more offers. That one I probably should not have taken, the one 2 minutes ago, but we just take another one right there at the 50 period. So let's just try to be a little bit more disciplined and see if we can get this market to go up. Google, if it does come into VWAP, that's the next trade for me. If there's anything on your minds, put it in the chat. Neil and I will have it, no problem looking at it.
I just saw Jeff Free say DJ pump and pump.
DJ pump and pump.
So I went to see if it was breaking the high of the day.
That's what the stock does.
I mean, Google's trying to bounce off VWAP. I'm just waiting for, like, every time it goes into VWAP on Alphabet, it's like, let it do the red candle through, right? Like, it kind of does one of those liquidity grabs, hold, show some green, and then go into the long. So that's what I'm waiting for on Alphabet there. But yeah, if you're breaking the high on DJT, that would be, I think, a little bit spicy, but it's right in that supply zone. This is pretty much where it was failing all day long, right at the 24, just above 24. I know this is the only price that I was shorting, and I think it needs to clear through this if you're going to really get a pump late in the day. If we're in a power hour, it's like if you're going to go, you should go. I canceled any orders that I had on Alibaba. I like technically where it was dipping into prior highs, but if a Chinese ADR is going to move, the time to have done it would have been like 20 or 30 minutes ago. At this point, I'm not very optimistic about the continuation trade today in BABA. I'm only talking about today. You still have a bit of a chance that you could continue this in tomorrow's trade. But unfortunately, BABA is absolutely dead. Is what it is. Google's now starting to bounce off VWAP.
Yeah.
I'm going to look for that reload now. You're finally getting some green on the other side of it. So here we go. See if I can get some 12s. I like the number 12 for some reason.
I just asked Rob for a peach tea. So if you want to
I'll take a
get involved.
in the chat, right?
I don't know. I just tagged him. So maybe we'll see if we get it.
I want one of those too.
Yeah, man, that's what I was telling you. I don't want him to come over here and then all of a sudden you're like, man, what the hell just happened there? Because I know it has caffeine, so you got to watch out. I don't know if that's...
Oh, it does? I thought it was non-caffeine. That doesn't matter. I'll try.
You can ask. I don't know. I know because we have a green tea that's caffeinated and one that's decaffeinated. I just don't know.
I got physio tonight. I need the pump up because I got physio.
That's fine. Rob will
okay.
get it.
Rob will get it.
Yeah, don't worry. Thanks you,
Adara.
Adara, for that.
You know, you get tired after you get a long day. What's interesting is like physio. The things that I do with physio are not really that complicated, but like it's tiring, man. We had my daughter's school open house. It's a 400-meter walk from my house to the school, there and back, and then walking around the school, their classroom or whatnot. My heart rate when I got in the door was like a 112. I was just walking with a crutch.
That seems a lot.
It is because I've gotten really out of shape because I'm not moving. I'm not doing any cardio. I'm not doing any HIIT workouts. Like it's crazy how quickly you get out of shape. But it is what it is. So I want some of that caffeine. I'll take that peach tea. So Google reloaded off VWAP. GTI still going sideways. There was something else I was going to pay attention to. Apple is trying to bounce off.
People were asking about.
Yeah, but DJT wasn't moving. Like this is the thing. Like DJT has a 16% move on the day, and right now the range in the last 15 minutes is like 10 cents. I guess it's like everything is kind of barcoding, trying to make some bounces here. But DJT needs to carry through this 24, break out the high. If it doesn't do that, I'd almost argue, like you could sit in like this area's been a good short. Like you could sit in that, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to fight that stock. I already did it a couple of times, and they were okay and not great, and that was a disappointment for me.
I emailed my guy there, Raider Trader, see if he's. We don't have any Danielle Shea, so tonight.
Oh right.
Got a little lazy there, and I forgot to sort of book. Not only do we host the shows, we're booking people as well. Snow. Well, Neil just bought some snow. He can tell you about those positions. I'm in Snowflake
Is
too.
it at the high of the day?
I like Snowflake, but you guys know that I like Power here as well. Snowflake, yeah. So Snowflake right now. I mean, look. I mean, I could talk about it. Whatever. I do own the stock as well. All right, so look, I mean, software has been really hot lately. You saw it lately. I mean, did you guys see C3AI yesterday? Palantir was up 5%. They're all up about 5% yesterday.
C3 what?
Yeah, AI, UiPath, like a lot of the software for services right now are starting to get hot. So that's a Snowflake type of deal, right? So there it goes. I really like this trade. We talk about things basing and then going. So that's like the trade right there. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to go find the average price of myself right there for Snowflake, because you can, like Palantir, for example, now making Snowflake look foolish. But if you just want to compare the two, this is like, we were also accumulating here in Palantir, as you guys know, just this base, right? I mean, you have these bases and then bump, right? Bases and then bump. But you have to understand that, like, if earnings miss or there's a problem there, it's going to get smoked right back into some of these bases. Thankfully for Palantir, it kept on producing and really outperforming, and then you got that add into the S&P 500, and that started that going. But you need to have bases like this. So you base out, bump. You saw that in Intel. I mean, we can go over and over lots of different examples in all of this stuff. DocuSign did the same thing. Oh yeah, there we go. So Rob, the other day I went over there and I was like, I need to get a tea.
I'm in.
And I saw that there was a peach tea there, and it smells so damn good. And right now, being in the fall season, peaches at Niagara, everything like that. Although it's getting pretty cold right now, I love the smell of fresh peaches. And
Peaches
this tea is very, very exciting. Peaches for me, peaches for you. I forget how that song goes, but
There's another peach song I like.
Presidents of the United States of America.
I could eat a peach 4
right there.
hours, especially when it's sweet, not sour.
Millions of peaches, peaches for free.
We
That's
actually
how it
have
goes.
that? Wow.
Millions of peaches, peaches for me.
Do we even have the Canadian anthem, though? We should have like Canadian.
What do you mean we have the license for what? That song? Oh, this. Oh. Why are we playing that?
I don't know.
Oh,
No,
presidents. Oh, okay. Do you know that
When did you
that
say
Peaches
president?
song?
No, I have no. Honestly, I don't know that song at all. Like,
What?
maybe- I don't. I'm usually 99 times
Where's
out
the
of
chat?
100. I know the references
that
you're
song
going to
is
drop,
legit.
but I legitimately
That probably
don't know
has
that
about
one.
5 billion YouTube views.
5 billion YouTube views.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Lump is another good one.
I
man.
probably got to get on that at some point.
Yeah,
you would
it's
think like my
hilarious.
daughter would have like.
No, Neil, it's from when we were young.
What?
Your daughter ain't feeling that. I showed that to my kids. They're like, "What the hell, Dad?" But then they started singing it. So
Peach. What's it?
there you go. Peaches. Just called Peaches, man. It's from isn't it Presidents of the United States of America? Is literally what it's called. Presidents.
Like I know the
Peaches.
Bieber song, and there's
The Bieber song.
112
No,
has
it's right
a
here,
song.
dude. I have it right here. Look, I don't want to. I can show this. This is what these guys look like. Presidents of the United States of America. Peaches.
Okay.
Here, 41,000, 4 million views. Okay, so here we go. What year is this? Well, this is from a year ago, but I don't know what year this is actually done. My husband started singing this song as he ate canned peaches. Yes. So your husband is as pathetic as me, because this is, I mean, I just literally get this peach tea and start singing it. So, but you know what, man? Peaches or not right now, shout out to Georgia. We are right now, let's go. It's a nice trade right here as Nvidia going back up to the upside. 36 cents now in the monies as we see where this one's going here. Higher and higher to the upside. Let's go. We're holding on to this. We talked about this. If we can get a nice little push here into the futures at the high of the day. We are at the highest spot we've been at all day despite getting stopped out. But we were able to buy it back. So again, easy out, but stopped out. That sucks. We still continue to go to the high side right now. And Google, baby, let's go. We did not get stopped out of that one, thankfully. Nowhere near getting stopped out, actually. So we'll wait to see if that one continues to go higher, man. It's Google, it's Nvidia, it's TQQ, it's some Palantir talk, and it's millions of peaches. Peaches for me.
Millions of peaches.
I hope you like the
peaches
tea.
for me. Why not? I haven't had a sip of the tea yet. I holding Google, covering Apple. So covered Apple. I had another bid down here. I'm going to go ahead and cancel it, but I'm going to hold on to Alphabet. And got out of Apple. There's someone's flashing. They were doing it here too that got me out. So see this wick? Right when it got to that level, which is 228.50, somebody flashed like 40,000 and kind of ticked it down. I'm like, oh, it's going to dip again. This is what we're doing in the stock. And we were at the top of the range on the NASDAQ. So I covered. Then they pulled the order, which is what sometimes they do. And now they're sitting at 60.
I got another piece.
So I think it's probably fake because they didn't take the fill at 50. So if they take the fill at 60, then I'm proven wrong. I'm going to hang on to Alphabet here. I'm going to cancel in front of the 162.5. and just leave it to see where it can go. It's 320. It's not a heck of a lot going on here. However, I've added the imbalance locator for the early look, and just in general, I've added Amex to it, just because every single day I want to see if any of those ETFs do show up. So I don't know. Like, this will obviously be updating live just like the others, but it's like live from ARCA, not from that the broker where we get the early look on New York. MDU doesn't matter. FXI right now is a 1.7 to the buy side. Early look HPE 1.5 million buy. A little bit random. Don't usually see HPE in there. That could be worth watching going in, because it's not the kind of stock that does a ton of volume. So 1.5 million into a 10 million day on HPE is worth monitoring. It's not moving a heck of a lot, but I'll probably keep it on the side burner just in case there's something at 350 on this one. So only in Alphabet after getting out of Apple. Future Eddie just said, "What's up with Adobe?" Tell me, Future Eddie. You're the one that sees the future, right? Otherwise, why the nickname? No, I'm just kidding.
Wrong way.
I know. It's hilarious. Like, I'm like, there we go. Talking and typing at the same time. And if you get it wrong, you have to wait for it to try to load a symbol that isn't there.
All right, just come over here. Oh, there you go. Good, you got it.
No, there's not. I don't know what's wrong with it, because today it's
because
strong.
Future Eddie put in ABDE. Come on, Future Eddie.
Oh, is that why?
Confuse my guy.
I didn't even think. You know what's crazy about it? I didn't even think about it. I just typed what you had. No, what's right with Adobe right now? This is what's right with it. Look at that move to the upside. Rivian Millionaire, HP was mentioned by AMD in their talk. That could explain why it's to the upside. No, everything's right about Adobe for a lot of reasons. Fill in the gap from the prior move on Monday. Just hasn't done anything. It's just not really breaking out. When you have that big of a move, there's nothing wrong. Consolidating off the highs on volume while the market was trending to the downside is good. That's a good sign. And you want this kind of a bottom to be made on this stock. It's trying to break out a trend, get back to the 50 and 200, and bouncing off major support. So I'd say today was fantastic for Adobe.
I just want to say this is part of the community. And by the way, Raider Trader is just confirmed he's going to be coming on with your boy at 4:15. But this is what I'm talking about. Look, I mean, for those of you that ask, they say, where can I go to find out how to learn how to trade? Okay, this is at Trader TV Sean. I said we're buying some Nvidia here off VWAP. So we did it, right? So you could say, well, you're posting this after the fact. Okay, we tag at Alpha Trends. How's it going, Brian? All right, Brian, of course, gets back to me immediately with a fist bump and an anchor. So shout out to that one. And you know what we just did? We just reloaded the same damn trade again, right there again. So there it goes. There's the first tweet. There's the second tweet. And here's what it's doing right now. Bam, right back up into the 200 period moving average. If you're looking for someone to learn off of, I hope you found the right channel right now. Trader TV Live, just doing it all, hopefully back, forth, and around. I mean, we're trading the futures right now, 30 handles in the money. Nvidia's 60 cents off. There's multiple reloads right now. And it's so funny that I wasn't trading Nvidia all day. And what did we say earlier on? I mean, people are always adding me. Why don't you trade this? What's going on there? Why don't you look over here? Chill right now. I mean, the position board, whatever you want to do. My guy, Fabian, you're the one in charge. Yeah, you're the one in charge, my guy, whatever you want to do. I don't know, you like the bold, you don't like the bold. I like the bold. All right, so there it is right there, back up to the 200 period MA. I'm going to hold on to a piece. We've already made on this, so wherever this goes, it goes, and I'm fine with it. So let's give it a shot here in and around this level. So we'll hold out hope that something can happen here for us on NVIDIA at the end of the day here, moving into the end of the day anyways on NVDA. So we'll hold out hope that we can get back to that 135. I think it's possible.
But I canceled my 135 breakout.
Yeah.
I have a rule about that, though. It's in a general sense, if once you get like either 1% or like a full dollar away, so I was just checking AVGO because I wanted that to go. Once you get to 134 in VWAP, when it goes from one level and breaks this support, I don't want that stop order in there. And it's only because on the off chance a parabolic candle takes you in one shot from 134 to 135, I never want to take a breakout trade in that fashion. I want to take a breakout trade as it's stair-stepping up or consolidating in. Like, I would never want this in the afternoon to do one of these candles, and then I'm taking a breakout at the top late in the day. So I might put it back in, although it's getting really, really late in the day here. No, I don't think, you know what? I'm probably not going to take the trade. I think it's if it breaks 135, I would have to do it very, very quickly. Apple, whoever flashed that fake size got me. They got me thinking it was going to be an inside move. It's right up to the 228.80. So Apple continues to go. I'm not happy about it, but I saw that order. I'm like, oh, shoot, let's get out. That's what turned it last time. It's going to turn it again, and the futures aren't going. So the futures didn't break the high, but Apple did. Apple continues to be relatively strong, even if it's down 0.3. Hey, Debs, do you have any thoughts on Weight Watchers?
Big move.
Well, it's got a decent short float. I'll give you that one. Although I didn't check out what's the days to cover on this one. Oh, no, I don't have days to cover. I have to add days to cover on that one. I'll do that in a quick little second. No, it's a great move on WW. And we were sort of lamenting, anytime you catch one of these on like day one, that's the time to take a shot at it because you'll never get a better risk to reward. And when you get like a 110 and you can give it to like an 80 or a 90, suddenly you have a reasonable risk on a penny stock. Now you get a bit of a double up. You'd be playing with house money, but look where it just got to. Stalled out at the obvious resistance area, about $22.25. 20. It's not going to get to 20 unless it reverse splits. So 2.25 feels like it was a great move. It psyched everybody out yesterday, and that's usually when you get these types of moves. When you give it all up and everyone's like, okay, this thing is done. It's not going to follow through. Does a lick grab at the open and then trends higher and higher. I think it needs to get through 2020. I wouldn't be surprised if it had like maybe more of a sideways day tomorrow than this nonsense that it did yesterday. But it's a great mover. Probably needs to break another level for a further squeeze because it's already done a hefty amount in just 2.5 sessions here, really. Like you're already at almost a triple up. No, you are at a triple up, right? Like this started at like 77 cents. So effectively, it's a triple up already on WW. I'd let this one go sideways. It's what it showed you yesterday. Buying the top, perilous on these, in my opinion.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Especially, I mean, you got to look at time of day too. It's 3:27
already.
Oh boy, right now there it goes. You're going to be hearing hopefully some oh boys tomorrow. I won't be here tomorrow. Obi will be sitting here tomorrow. I have there's a PWHL season ticket event tonight. My daughter's also playing hockey, so we have a busy Thursday, and then we have football and the Maple Leafs play again there today against Sheldon Keefe, our old coach, and the New Jersey Devils. So that should be a fun matchup there as well. So lots of exciting things happening. But look at Nvidia right now. Oh boy. Let's go. I mean, there we go, man. The tweeted out play of the afternoon right there. What else do we really need? I mean, right now the TQQs, banger of a play on the TQQs, right? I mean, that one, let's see if it can continue to go. It needs to play some catch up right there. But right now it's Nvidia about to be a dollar club winner. And we already talked about this, right? It's not it's nothing. We wanted this. We said that we're holding this until 35. The only problem is getting out of it all early. So we still do have about 20% left of what we had on board. I'm not going to hold it to 35 in case it drops out again, but why not 85? So let's just put an offer there. I mean, this is what we're doing, right? Support and resistance. These little levels right there is right in here at 70. I mean, would anybody hate me if I took $1 on this? What about 85? All right, let's go. Let's go a little bit higher. We'll see if we can grab that. Oh, I'm already sitting there. What am I doing? Oh, man, I almost got overfilled. Okay, we're sitting. It's too bad. We had more shares at 63 on the bottom. Didn't get it. All right, here we go. Let's see if it goes back there up to the upside. I'd hate for it to. Do not stop there at 75. Keep going a little bit higher. I hate when they stop at even levels like that, 75, 50, 25 O's, because then I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to get out. So will I cost myself 13 cents here and just decide to get out now? Maybe. I'm waiting at 84s right now. One more try here. I'm going, yeah, in a minute. Just wait a second. We'll go to Darren 1 second. So here we go. If we break below this 134.70 or so, all right, here it goes. I want to see one more try up here at that 75 level. If it waxes it, then great, and maybe we'll get that 84, 85, but one more try to fail and we're punching out. Just wanted to explain that, and we can go over to Miss A now.
We do have Triumph Group Inc. Just keep an eye on this one, TGI. This one currently halted here after Bloomberg reported that the company, which makes aircraft parts, is apparently looking to explore a sale. So TGI halted up here on a report from Bloomberg of a potential sale. It is worth noting here, they have a short float here of 11.4%. Total market cap of around $850 million. So not a tiny market cap, but a decent short float here for TGI, guys.
I wonder who their clients could be. No, It's not like there's many people that make airplanes, so we know who their clients probably are. Anything with a big short float that gets a deal announced can be extra spicy, especially on volume. But if it's halted right now, I have a general rule: if you have a buyout rumor on a stock that's trying to halt in the last half an hour, I'm not going to trade it. After what happened to me on Spirit Airlines, it's that simple. I got moked on Spirit Airlines because they halted it and didn't reopen. And when you're day trading, by the way, I'm out of. Try to reload in Google. We did it twice off of VWAP. Both times worked. The third time looks like it's going to give it up. So I'm out. I'm just in this GTI, which is going sideways. But I lost. I had to hold it overnight, which the intention was to scalp trade it going into the close. It was an overnight hold, and it gapped to the downside when there was no confirmation on the rumor, which oftentimes happens on a deal. So I'd be very careful, even if it opens back up, trading that deal. It's just a potential deal. If it's firmed and confirmed, that's one thing. But if it's not, I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. So for myself, I'm now out. And one of the reasons why I'm going to trail out is exactly what I was saying about that trend line on NASDAQ. We're not breaking the highs. And every single time we get up there, if I'm not something confirmed to the upside, I'm selling. So I got out of Apple for a smaller win than it should have been. But at the end of the day, we're not really breaking out that top. So if something's not cooperating, then I'm not going to sit there in it. I'd rather temper expectations. As far as I'm concerned, you want to make sure that you don't have losing trades that are going to outstrip what you can do positively to the upside. Right? Like, so you try to keep it in the pocket here. Get about a third back on this alphabet. But at the end of the day, it wasn't a perfect trade for these. Like, look what happened at VWAP every single time. Like, that's a pretty big, hefty liquidity grab. Hefty liquidity grab. For the amount that this is moving up, I would argue it's actually pretty crappy. You know, like you're getting rinsed by 30 or 40 cents to try and make 20, 30, 40. So as strong as Google, I think, was earlier in the day, it's a lot weaker now. So we're going to step away from it. It's 3:30. Something sets up going into the close. Fair enough.
All right. That's it. Broke through 60. We punched out. So 134.60 right there. We'll put in 80 cents. Someone in the chat was like, Sean, just take it out, man. I did. So that's it. We are now out of that play right there. Probably going to be pretty flat here into the close. We'll see if anything happens, but so far so good here as we just sit around and wait to see what happens into this close. We'll wait for 350 and those imbalances to come through, but right now we got a dare at the desk.
One last look here as we get half an hour until the end of the day. We're going to take a look at some of these larger movers on the S&P 500. These are all going to, most of these, I believe, to the downside. So we're going to start here with PFE, Pfizer. This one down today after former CEO Ian Reid and former CFO Frank D'Amelio, who were previously reported by the Wall Street Journal to be backing Starboard's activist bet, have now come out in support of current CEO Albert Bourla. So basically what we have here are people who are rumored to be involved in the activist effort now coming out in support of the current CEO. So interesting look here for PFE, which initially traded up on the activist news, trading down on this, a bit of a reversal. We have HII. This is Huntington Ingalls Industries. This one here yesterday actually getting a project awarded to them by the Chips and Sciences Act, but actually getting 2 downgrades despite that news from yesterday. So Vertical Research and Wolf both downgrading HII after that Chips Act news as of this morning. We also have here, last but not least, Cognizant here. This is CTSH. Cognizant announcing a partnership with Palo Alto Networks with regards to AI-led cybersecurity services. We know cybersecurity has been on watch, and CTSH moving as part of that type of story. Lots of movers on the watch, of course, today, guys.
This was another one that Pfizer was another one that I was looking for a swing entry in, and it doesn't look as good as it did yesterday. So Pfizer right back to the 50 period. It's going to have to close above it, which it probably should. It's already down 3 points today, and the market's going sideways. I think it just needs to hold for a couple of days. The plan was to get. I already own the stock. What I was going to do was add to it, and then the shares I wasn't really going to add to it because I own this in my RSP. I was going to get shares in my TFSA for a swing, and then put it in here, and then have a stop underneath the 50 for the 200 period moving average. The stock has done this before from 25, 26 into the 40s. So it feels like it's making that rounded bottom. I guess the breakout just hasn't happened. But yeah, kind of like Snowflake, except Snowflake is much, much stronger today, as that one's now at the highs. 3% on Snow. I have to pick a spot to get into the rest of this one. I didn't say where I was like targeting. Going to be getting some out if we break the 135 into 140, and then I'm also going to be taking some out in front of 150 on Snowflake. That's the plan. Maybe hang on to, if I get a full position, I'd hang on to some for the dream, but because I don't, I wouldn't hold on to anything. If I don't get it all, then I'm not going to try to hold for everything either.
All right, the trader of Raiders has confirmed. So thank you for the email, my guy right there. You will be joining me at 4:15. Get ready to go as we're going to put on quite the recap show for everybody. So get ready for that one coming up at 4:15. Raider Trader and I will be going live, talking everything about today's market, some trade ideas. Get your Q&A ready to go for him, and any of us. We'll take those, but it'll be me and him tonight. We'll talk about that. Join me at 4 o'clock because we'll just review some of the stuff that happened today. We had some CPI report today, 3.3 versus 3.2 on the year. So we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening with the market. I mean, it's been really flat and really doing nothing all afternoon. So I just want to tell you guys, we take that out for 22 handles there on the futures to end that trade. So bang. Right there. So that's an out right there. The Nvidia out was obviously a good, I don't want to say, you guys can judge if this is a good out or not, up to you. We're out of Nvidia right there. So, okay. That's going to be a good one. And then Google, we're just like waiting for something to happen. I might just exit all of this here into the close. We have nothing more to prove. We're already doing what we're doing here today. And I mean, the market might just hover around. I mean, into the close when you have these imbalances coming through. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. It's only 336 right now, but a bunch of nothing on here, right? So far. So we'll have to wait to see if there's any sort of thing. And then, you know, today, like I noted, I've only traded 6 names. So we have a lot of different styles here. Of course, I'm going to say I thought Sharif maybe. So Sharif 1, 2, 6 as well. So you know, it's just like sometimes I need to be very specific and wait for certain things to happen. So today it's Apple, which has been the #1 stock P&L wise here today. That's going to be the biggest one right there. Boom, nice trade. We did get our last piece out there. You guys all saw me get that out. That kind of sucked for sure. But Apple, a huge trade off the open. So that was a banger there. AMD will be down on it. We tried to go short there. We actually lost on the short. Can you believe it? But again, the timing was what it was all about. That was at the call, at the conference, sorry. So AMD continues to go to the downside. Google's really like, that's a this is a big stock for me today. We just kept on doing what we wanted to do, buying off VWAP, buying off the 200 period, and doing it with you know, shares. So that's a big stock for us right there. And these are the last couple outs, and the fact that we're still holding it, right? So that's going to be a big trade there. Nvidia, you just saw me do it. I'm not going to spin the money thing again. Palantir, when you have the low of the day, we don't need to explain too much more than that. And then TQQ. So the good thing about all of this is like very easy to follow. Like I said, just a few names there today. We'll see if we can keep on doing this, but hey, we'll trade whatever advantages or whatever we see. And if something does move, like we don't have Tesla today, which normally we do. And, you know, we could have looked at that today. Normally we do have, we don't really have Microsoft often, but, you know, that would be another name that we should be looking at there. Palantir we have. So I'm pretty happy with what we've been covering so far here today. So, so far so good. And that's just a style. And I hope you guys enjoy everything. We have one red name today. So we are 5-1. It's AMD with its red, the only red name today. So yeah, it's been a good one over here. So let's go over. Neil has a read here.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to our good friends over at eSignal. If you're looking to take your trading experience to the next level, well, charts are your eyes to the market. Be able to analyze the past so that you can make good decisions in the future. We're talking about infinite data, instant trading. Your charts are going to change the game. They have an API you can plug into as well, which is fantastic. Whether you're talking about screeners, moving averages, trying to come up with a good trade list of symbols to watch on your quote board, it's got everything for you. Real-time data, super fast and super reliable. Back testing your strategies if you want some kind of a moving average crossover strategy you want to play off of. bounces off of VWAP, whatever it might be. You're able to back test your strategies so you can put the trades in going into the future. Scans out the wazoo are available for you. It's all in one spot. Everything you need in one place with fast and reliable data. That's what eSignal's all about, used by a host of traders all over the floor. I myself have used it in the past, back and forth with it. And I can tell you that when you're analyzing a strategy, in a general sense, like you want reliable data. There were several strategies that I think, even in other markets that were being used here, that you want good back testing for. Nothing really beat eSignal when it comes to that. So scan the QR code that you see right in front of you. Check the link in the description to try out eSignal today. Shout out to them for being a sponsor here. A fantastic platform. I just saw Tesla dump. Somebody just said I wasn't watching Tesla. I'd moved that chart to AMD. Wow, Tesla really did sell it off in here, down into VWAP. Yeah, maybe they're just getting out in front of this event, which is at 10 o'clock tonight, 10:10. The Cybertruck event, I guess. Not Cybertruck event. I mean the Robo-Taxi event. Obviously, they're getting out in front of it. It was a very strong stock for most of the afternoon, and all of a sudden you're going into the red. Good news for Tesla. You're cleared out of what looked like a big wipeout day underneath prior support at 235, and you're at least going to close above it. So it still looks like a false bottom break. If you can hold on to this 35, 36 area on Tesla, that looks like a pretty decent trend reversal opportunity, but it's still downward trending since this double top at 260. And we all know what happened up above 260 bucks on Tesla. Now, if you were long into it, then you understand. Like, it just, so much strength going into that level and a ton of selling. I feel like if it sniffs that in the aftermarket, which is tradable on Blue Ocean, I feel like if it does get into that zone, there's probably going to be some sellers there as well. John saying IWM's catching a big bid. First thing I'm going to think about is it on the imbalance locator? No. Because it's on the Amex. FXI is the one that's showing a bit of an imbalance, 3 million to the buy side, and then GDX. At least out of these ETFs, which I'm now starting to give a little bit of a look at after what we saw the other day. Our assumption was the Chinese ADRs were really big, so based on that assumption, I'm going to want to look at them. IWM, yeah, bouncing off of VWAP, but nothing crazy. Small move off of VWAP here. It would be that it would be FXI that I'm going to keep my eyes on, just because it has a 15 million paired volume. Sorry, 11 million paired volume, 3 million buy. I was asked, what does paired volume mean? So on the imbalance locator, all you're displaying are the orders that have already gone into the closing auction ahead of time. And so right now, if they were to pair off all the buys and sells, the market buys, market sells, limit buys, limit sells, then they're able to match 11.6 million shares of FXI if they had to do it right here at this current price that it's trading at, and thered be a residual 3.1 million shares to buy. So the total interest in the closing auctions right now, 14.7 million shares, of which 11.5 has been paired off at an equilibrium at the current price. And so you're left over with that buy and bounce. Hopefully that makes some sense as we talk about this every single day.
All right. I'm long FXI, so we'll put it in. We only have, we just have 17 minutes to go, so we'll play this. We played this yesterday to see if it wanted to go. It didn't do anything. I don't think it's going to do anything today. But we're bouncing off VWAP, so I actually don't mind this trade anyways, just to see if it wants to go upside. It's not doing anything. There is that imbalance there, but I'm not worried about that. Let's just wait to see what winds up happening. If it holds VWAP, then that's fine. 25s will take another bid. We'll go like 5 or 6 cents below that. It stopped out in and around 20 if that is the case, but we're going to take it right now. We're only long Google and FXI. So again, very, very successful day here today. As you guys know, 5-1 on the day. We will be having Raider Trader joining us, me, live at 4-ish. You can log in at 4:10 if you want, Andrew, and we can get that going anytime. Anytime you're logged in, we can throw you up. All right, so that's that. We'll wait to see if the futures drop out, the futures drop out. That's all good. All right, so Nvidia is making its way back up. I still have that order to break 135, but we'll have to wait to see if that does come up. I don't even know if that will be there. I mean, it could come on the imbalance, so that could be something. So we can wait to see if that does happen. That's about it for me on that one. The Google trade it's such a small piece, but I'm still, oh, you got out of Google. Okay. For me, I'm not out yet. We'll wait for 161. I mean, this doesn't, it's such a small piece, but we'll just play off VWAP anyways. 161.90 break lower and we'll get out. We might also just put that in right now. So I'm just letting you know, my stop on this trade, I'm canceling it right now, was 161.48. So we're long now at 65. So we are willing to lose 17 cents on this trade. So, I mean, it's been a really good one. This 17-cent trade wound up going almost $1.50 in the money. So, again, take it if you guys wanted to. Maybe potentially we should have, but that was a good trade there for me at the beginning of the day, and now we can end it. So 161, just in case the imbalance comes out and wants to rip through this, 161.89. Let's just put it in right now to cancel my old stop to put the new one in. 161.89 for the stop out on that one. We're still long FXI and Google, and that's that. So again, a big day, man. 5-1. We're really happy with it. These are generally, you know, we try to have more winners than losers. And we pretty much do every day. It's just about the share sizing on your winners versus losers and then how bad those winners or losers are. Like yesterday, I think we might have had 1 or 2 losers again, but we had that big hit. I think it was on Nvidia earlier on maybe it was 2 days ago. And I think it was AMD still. The move down there, we wound up getting hit and we had to take it all day to make it back. So, you know, what you lose on one stock, you know, it could take you 5 to make it back. And that's what wound up happening to me before. But you guys can always ask me that right now. Like I was just saying, I've only traded, I know Neil's a little bit more than this, but I've only traded 6 names, just adding 1 right now in FXI. So this will be my 7th, but this is a very specific trade here, hoping that it moons into the close. But guess what? It's not happening. And the reason why I'm in this is what FXI did 2 days ago into the close. This is what FXI did the day before that into the close. So we'll wait to see if that can happen. Yesterday we had it, didn't do anything. We wound up losing. Today we have it again. But at least we have VWAP here trying to protect us. So we'll wait to see if we get some more upside moves here on FXI.
By this time on FXI yesterday, the imbalance that was there, it was like a couple of million. It had paired off. Right now it's still there at 3.2 million. So I think it feels a little bit different from the previous day. I want to see it. I want to see it at 350 because I haven't really observed what it looks like when it stays a big imbalance and then maybe grows. And I haven't really seen anything crazy on the tape, but I'm going to have it up as well just in case. I'm going to get on the bid of this. JTAI doesn't seem to want to break out the lows. Duo did this the other day, but this one doesn't seem to want to go. So it might do it late in the day. I just got on the bid in front of 8. I'm looking for it essentially to lose support at $8 and then just flush, but it's 8 cents and flush, but it's not doing anything just yet. It was Duo. Oh yeah, by the way, Duo also had an offering again. Duo offering, Duo again offering, so pretty nasty. Ooh, Mara now wants to give me the fill. Finally.
Mara.
It's so crazy. Like Bitcoin has been hovering underneath 60,000 the entire day. I was short VWAP on Mara, basically a scalp trade, and now I'm shorting it to 21 even. So we'll have this. JTXI, I'll probably punch out manually if it gets back to 9. I don't need a stop order for that. It's got like something like 1 billion shares today. And FXI, I'm just going to look to like 350. If it stays a bid, look for a long. If it grows bigger, look for a long. If it's smaller than the 3.2 million that it says right now, don't do anything. And obviously, if it's a sell imbalance, don't do anything either. But that's what I'm going to have my eyeballs on here. The 2 we're in, and then the FXI as well, which is 3.2 million still to the buy side.
Yeah, not doing anything. So, all right.
Still 2
so,
minutes.
Yeah. But the trade, that has nothing to do with the trade now because the move would have already happened. So we'll wait to see what winds up happening there. But we do have the imbalances coming out very, very soon. Google still 55 cents in the money. I'm thinking about just taking it out right now. We get that 200 period. It's starting to go higher. We might as well. I mean, the 200 would be a great take for us. So let's just do that on Google. We'll get out right now. We'll just push offer, enter. If we can get a 25, that'd be pretty good. Or maybe even a 24 here. We'll offer 25s. Give us some love at 25. Print through the level. It's got to go through to get the fill. And it does not. Oh my. All right, let's just put, this always happens. All right, we'll punch out there and get some 20s on the way out there. So that concludes that trade. That is another great one there for Google right there. So another nice out right into there. People saying Apple. We can have a look at Apple. I mean, Apple's been, like I said, Apple, wow, yeah, okay. Apple's my #1 stock today. It's the #1 stock on the show. Midday show, morning show, after show. big time movement upside there for Apple, and it continues right now to go. And looking at 230, not here tomorrow, but you guys got to take that 230 break. All right, not too much time left here as we go. We'll see what's going on now with FXI. Hopefully, like Neil was mentioning, it's going to come out at 350. It's grown a little bit.
Now.
Yeah, it's 4 million shares. So again, we'll see what winds up happening. 67 million shares here on the day. We're long FXI. We could go 7-1 or 6-1 now if this one goes up, but we want to see it go up a little bit more than where it is right now. All right, here we go. It's now 350, and we can have a look at these imbalances to see what's going on. DocuSign with the big sell. So watch out now for DocuSign. That's
5 million
going back down to the downside. Nice move down there. Intel's a bid. Apple's a bid. Boom, Apple. Wowzers. Boom, Nvidia. Boom, every damn thing, man. This has been such a great day. I can't get over it right now. Look at that out on Google. We just got out there at 20s. That's going to be a good out. Nvidia is now mooning back into 135. That was a fantastic trade to end the day. FXI doing jack all.
Yeah, it's not moving. It actually just paired off to 1.6 million on XFI. So it came out 4.6 as expected, and then paired off to 1.7 now million. That's actually getting smaller and smaller. I got in and have taken half out. I'm actually just going to punch out of the rest of it. You know, that's not the trade I'm looking for. The idea was that it comes out same size or bigger. It did, and then immediately paired off. But DocuSign is 4 million to the sell side. After I see what's going on with it on the chart, I'm going to double check to see if there was something that was supposed to happen on DocuSign today. That is a hefty imbalance. Look what happened. DocuSign dropped like 80 pennies in one shot and then right back up. My guess is there might be an index action that we're not, that I wasn't aware of.
Okay, yeah, so we're just long at 30.31 here on FXI. I'm taking 32s. I mean, we'll put a winning trade in our pocket, but there's not much to do on that right now as we'll just look at these levels. Amazon, oops, that was not the stock I'm looking for. Amazon right here, we'll see. Amazon had a good day until it didn't really at the end of it all. I mean, it's still at 0.7. You'll take that every day. If it does that every day, you'll be rich. But yeah, it did have its highs at 188. It double touched it right there. Make sure you're definitely on this name. I mean, whatever, you guys will be on whatever names you want, but I think this is going to be a good one tomorrow for Amazon. Watching out for that 188 level. Looked like it held out pretty darn good right there. All right, we'll just, you want to just get out, we just get out of XFI here for flat, I think, now that it's at 30, so we'll watch out for, there we go. We are now, you can see, we just got out there of FXI. So it'll be a cup of coffee, but it's very, very small win there on FXI. We tried to buy that VWAP, nothing really going through there on that. Intel, Apple here, Nvidia, trying to go for that 135. I just want to make sure that everybody hits the like and the subscribe. I mean, what a fantastic show today. You know, putting those on, showing you all the trades, and really just discussing them with you, showing you as many opportunities as possible. And then again, only trading a couple names, but very, very, I think well traded today. Sometimes we don't have great days, but today was definitely one of those. I just want to thank you all for watching. Thanks, Sharif. Thanks, Joe, there on the midday. Hope everybody there down south has been doing well. I've been seeing a lot of positive comments.
Yeah, it looks like things were pretty good, relative to what it could be.
Right, exactly. So
things were a heck of a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Seen a lot of people in the chat talking about that. So I want to say not congratulations, but thankfully that has happened. Not as devastating as it once was feared. So yeah, again, nice to hear that. And yeah, we're back here tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned to 8:30 back here live with Obi and Neil. Should be a good one.
And DocuSign added to the S&P 600 or 400 as of tonight. So it's already paired most of it off. Now only a 1.1. That's a no-fly zone, right? Like expecting a buy, it comes out as a sell. My guess is the entire thing is going to pair off, if not even flip to the buy side. I'm going to keep eyes on it. Sometimes when something flips, you get a bit of a spike and maybe it'll push through the highs. But yeah, already pulling back in here. If you have the knowledge that this is going to be an ad today and you see it come out as that sell, that little liquidity grab sometimes can be a trade. That's a little microcosm of what happened on Tesla on its day when it was being added to the S&P 500. The early look was that it was going to be a bit of a sell, and that's not what people expected. It dipped heavily and gave you a nice little buying opportunity going into the close. So similar thing happening on a smaller scale in Docu. Yeah, that JTHI is not really moving, so let's just get it all out here. I doubt this is going to do 1 billion shares tomorrow after the offering, but no chance of the follow through, unfortunately. So just going to jump out of that one. At the end of the day here, I do feel as if the strong movers, anything that was above VWAP, that like an Apple, this is where I want to go back into tomorrow. Like size freaked me out. Not freaked me out, but it got me out after the pattern that I saw. And now look at the sucker. Like it's already going to take out. Now, of course, at second I pull it up there at 55, it pulls back. I was about to tell you how strong it was for that breakout. Right away, you get a bit of a pullback going into the end of the day on Apple. That's what happens with these imbalances. It was a small buy of like 1 million shares. It's now gone. That's the reason for that dip there in Apple. Still an absurdly strong stock today in the afternoon. But yeah, that's what happens when the imbalances pair off. That's why at 355, you want to make sure you have stop orders, that sort of a thing. You don't want to get yourself caught when there's that kind of a reversal. And you know it's likely coming too. That's the other side of it.
Okay. Yeah, I was watching Nvidia. Nvidia just tried to go up there to the upside. We don't have any positions. We're flat and a banger of a day. So if anybody's green, congratulations for that one. Yeah, so far so good. All right, Nvidia 134.75. I still like the bid through 135, but unfortunately now there's not that much time. I got to go over to the desk. I would still take this. Like even if I was here with a minute left, I would still take it. But 135 here. I mean, if I'm maybe it still breaks. I think it can go like just scream there in the after hours, and we can still trade it after hours. It's just you got to can't be for too long. So if it does break, you do have an opportunity to take that into 135. There's a lot of size there up at 135, so that's going to be something to be considering as well. You can sort of see a little bit right there, and even if I guess that won't. It doesn't matter. It needs to show up, but there's a lot there. You can't see it because the books keep on. 20 levels of books, so we're actually at 22 levels right now. So if this just breaks above 80, then we can see a little more clearly, which may be why it's not breaking above 80, but we'll wait to see what happens there. Only now 3 minutes left on Nvidia before that one goes. FXI downside, but again, another positive name for us. I have one, I keep saying us, but that's just me. I have one red name today, AMD, and that was, we were short. I mean, I don't know. We were short there. We kind of liked it. We at first were long, remember? Then we got stopped out. Then we went short, and we were like, good thing we reversed it. So we'll be red on it, but at the end of the day, it's more because we were just dancing when not much was happening. It was more an event-driven trade. I think this probably is up tomorrow, but I don't know. We'll see. I would say it's up tomorrow, but all right. So there goes Nvidia. We'll see. Still 135 coming in with less than 2 minutes to go.
Well, AMD held the 200 period moving average like an absolute charm. That's a monster level on the higher time frame, like right at that 162. So pretty good. Down 4%. It was down 5% earlier. They ended the event. What's interesting, but I got to leave this up. I've never actually done a trade based off of, hey, the trend line that it had after calming down on the event. It tried to break it, then hugged, eventually ends up still. You put it in there. It tags that the 200 period moving average and then starts going. So a bit of confluence at that 162 level, and that's when it starts going. But I've done the trend break, and then there's your opportunity. Never really played it. Just keep it in there and see what happens when it gets to support. It ends up being pretty clean, but that's a trade idea that I never actually backtested before or even tried before. But an AMD dumped on the event, holds the 200 period moving average. I think the 162 becomes an obvious spot to pay attention to. And I think, this was a trade that I said could have happened. Snow at the high. I'm not going to take this at 358. I'm not going to take the Nvidia at 135 either. Different stop orders that we have for different liquidity. But I was hoping this wouldn't happen until tomorrow on Snowflake. Quadruple top in here, being dragged up by, I think it's just being dragged up by Palantir a little bit and finally making a rounded bottom. It's got a long, long way to go to get where it was like half a year ago. This one got cut in half and then some this year, although from the highs. From here, it's actually not cut in half, but trust me, this was up at like $235, got down underneath 110. It's on the midst of a breakout as far as I'm concerned. 1 minute to go in here. Pretty much nothing going on except for the rocket ship that is Snow, the rocket ship that was Apple, and obviously Nvidia is going to track for that 135. I'm not going to take it, but if you do, just understand that if you're ever going to trade in the aftermarket, know what order types do and don't work at your broker. Everyone's going to be different. Sometimes you'll have everything available. Sometimes you'll have a couple of stop orders that aren't going to work. And I think, I don't want to call any names up. We had some traders back in the day that were unaware of certain order types that weren't going to work the way they wanted to. And then some losses that you didn't expect to happen ended up happening. So know your platform. Know the risks are going to be different, and good luck to anybody. I think it's going to make that break. But for now, let's go to Adara, because this bell, which is brought to you by WorkSport on the NASDAQ, that's WKSP, added to your watch list today. Ring it in 2 and 1, Adara. And now the market is closed. I'm just going to see if there's
so
still...
we need not hit that bell that hard next time. Do not hit the bell that hard next time, please.
I'm like really
so
close.
Even lighter than that, please, Adara.
That was
honestly.
a bit intense.
Wow. It does not break 135 right now for Nvidia. So I'm going to head over there. I was going to take the trade, but I mean, right now, I thought maybe if it ran into it, we could have got like some crazy imbalance there that wound up hitting. But there's the final print. Just came out for Nvidia in and around 1.4 million, something like that, but does not break through 135. All right, it's Raider Trader. He's coming up very, very soon. Everybody have a good one. I'm going to go over there, and I will see you. Happy Thanksgiving, Neil.
Oh my goodness, that's right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Have lots of turkey there, and we
don't do it in our household during the Canadian Thanksgiving. We end up.
Okay, that's fair.
We do like my wife's family with like the in-laws. We'll be doing that next weekend, and then we'll kind of do our thing U.S. Thanksgiving. So Nvidia, I tried to get a peek at that level. It was right there at 80 to see if I could have looked at the level 2 for you guys to see if the size was still there. But like when you scroll down, like you can see depth of book, but the big size was on NASDAQ, which I'm not really seeing anymore. It's going to have to climb a little bit higher. So yeah, I guess no breakout on Nvidia, but that just means you have the opportunity to break it out tomorrow, right? Like just because it doesn't happen today, we get that chance tomorrow. Obviously, Nvidia closing 1.6 is a pretty strong one. Right at some resistance. You have some overhead resistance, we should mention, at about 136. So I feel like that first dollar is going to be a very important one when we do get that eventual break. Big shout out to Fabian pulling in. Obviously, we got Remain, she's away. Shout out to Andre, who was always working really hard. There he is. He's got the headphones on, but he knows I'm going to shout him out at this time of day. A big shout out to Joe with a great options lesson in the midday, like he always does. And shout out to Sharif as well. Adara, great job doing all the news. And hey, if you see these different graphics in here, different coloring, we got the new logo up for Trader TV Live. Brendan was hard at work for this awesome rebranding. I think it looks great. Hope you guys think so too. Best part about everything is we've got Raider Trader joining Sean at the desk, because the market recap is still going, and maybe we'll get an Nvidia break in the aftermarket. You absolutely never know, but you're going to have to stick around to find out. For Trader TV Live and the market recap right about now.
There we go. Hope you're having a great day right now. All right. So yeah, S&P 500 right now closing near highs again, but still down that 0.19% here on the SPY. We'll wait to see, man. Oil, gold, upside today. So what a different day it was today. We've seen oil to the downside right there, but now today back up there. Maybe it had its little dip down. Gold, what a move. This is GDX. We can go over to the daily chart as well. Closing on the highs, GDX as well. The daily chart there, $40 for GDX as well, coming into play. So that should be something. Look at it, hold the 50 period. This is the gold miners. We can have a quick look over here at GLD itself. That is gold trying to get upside right now through 240. Huge move. We'll see what winds up happening there for GLD upside on that one. So nice move there on that. TAN downside. So we're just going to go over some of these. We will have Raider Trader coming on very, very soon. We can discuss different things. Unfortunately, I'm not logged into everything over here. We were waiting to see if Nvidia was going to break. Is Nvidia still going to break right now? Wow, I don't know. Maybe, hold on a second. Let me go over to a 3-minute chart right now. 134.74. Maybe we can go over to a 1 minute, but I don't know. If it breaks now, as Neil was saying, it's now past 4 o'clock. I was hoping that we could get like a sort of last little whoosh there into Nvidia. So we'll figure out what is now going on with that stock. The XLE, again, another name there that both Andrew and I have talked about, and we both like this name as XLE. I'm going to get rid of these just keep on showing up here. We don't need those arrows anymore. Nice upside move there on that one. ARK Invest down today. Q's is gone. We'll figure out what's going on right now on that as well. XLI, TLT. You know, a name that I've been recently getting into is Berkshire. Look, today we can go over all these things, but today's movement started with a higher CPI, 3.3 versus 3.2. Berkshire still holding out. We'll wait for tomorrow when the big banks show up. JP Morgan and Co. start tomorrow. JP, WFC, and BlackRock tomorrow. All right, so Berkshire continues to go to the upside. Adara made me some notes there for the close, so we can have a quick little look here on the recap in case I'm missing anything. Obviously, Tesla was really hot today. AMD, that's it, right? Good note there. She marked down that we had that not investor day, but that AI event, pretty much an investor day. Just talking about all the different applications there coming through for AMD. I guess it wasn't well received. I mean, we dropped off almost immediately there at 12 o'clock. So 171.75. I always think that this is kind of the fear about tomorrow with Tesla. The markets aren't going to be open. Of course, you could trade Blue Ocean when Tesla reports tonight or does that We Robot event. The fact that it's like We Robot makes me think that there's a lot more coming than just robo taxis. We'll see if there is some talk there about the different machines and learning and things like that, how Tesla's been going through with all that data that they collect. Of course, they have so much data on that car and on your travels. I feel like it's going to be really, really interesting. I'm interested to see if they have a new app that comes with that robo-taxi. And then, of course, I think the key thing is, when are they expecting to roll it out? And what does that look like? I mean, we all sort of know what they're going to talk about, but does it actually matter? We'll see that tomorrow in tomorrow's stock. And I mean, AMD today takes it on the chin on that report, but down 4% there on that event. But look where it comes back into, right back into the 200 period moving average. So again, maybe a buy opportunity. For me, I'm actually a buyer of AMD. If it comes back into here, maybe 150. I do believe that we are in a super cycle. I mean, I don't think there's any problems understanding that AI is going to be something, if not already. And then you have Adobe. We saw that start to kick up higher there today. And we've seen Gemini, Google, Grok. I mean, all these different LLMs, right? Meta there with Llama Mama, and everything just going through Perplexity. There's just so many different opportunities to play the space that I know that AMD and Nvidia, TSM, I mean, we always leave Broadcom on the side. I mean, look at Broadcom's daily chart. I mean, how good does that look right here up on the upside of 186 right now, taking out 52 and all-time highs? I mean, look at a weekly chart here for Broadcom. Like we don't just have to do this on chip names. We talked about Walmart being up 60% year to date. Like what? That's huge. Costco up 39% year to date as well. I mean, a lot of these names continue to be explosive. Nvidia, one of the biggest ones, 167% year to date. It sounds like Raider Trader's weekly gross margin there, 167%. I see he has a thumbs up. He is approving of that one. But look at the weekly here on Broadcom. This was $44, right? Back 2 years ago. So a nice move upside as, yeah, space justified. You also get the split there in Broadcom. If it's not a name that you're used to, this used to be thousands, right? It goes 10 to 1 there, coming back in now $185. Yeah, maybe it was it more than 10 to 1? I can't remember, but it was. So that's, I think that's kind of the split right there. Yeah, June 17th or something maybe, or that week anyways, starts a nice downside move there and then right back upside. Remember names like Chipotle as they split, you know, and they get this downside hangover, right? So you got to be careful with some of these stocks that recently split. Because again, price differences and a lot of the run-ups into names like this, especially names added to the S&P 500, they can get bumped up and then pull back in. Classic example, that was Uber, but now Uber's going back up. Walmart, we really like that split as well. That split down at 180. Look at this barcoding. This is where Walmart split. I won't forget it. It was around $60 and then boom, right there once it got its base. So this is what can happen all of the time in the market. So, all right. What's up, Mopar for life? Why would I do that? Oh, what's going on with Palantir right now? Continues. Wow, huge move up for Palantir. This is a name that didn't give anything back from earnings, right? They've kept on going 6 straight quarters now of upside EBITDA, gets them into the S&P 500, and then they don't pull anything back. This is a weekly chart for Palantir. Look at this base. I mean, come on. If you had that sort of crystal ball, but Palantir continues to work to the upside. We really, really like that one as it just continues to motor upside right now on PLTR. All right, not much else. I mean, I can review some notes. We had Delta Airlines today. How did that wind up finishing? So relatively flat again on their report. As again, more troubles in the Middle East. Not that that has anything to do with Delta specifically, but we watch out for some of the travel sectors on there. The FOMC, they came out with their minutes yesterday. They're all comfortable with 50 points. There was some dissent there on 25 versus 50. No one at 75, no one at hold. So I feel like we are in rate cut cycle. So what that means is more highs, right? Actually, when we're ready, I can bring on Andrew, because you know what? Like IWM has been a name that he's been looking at as well, and various other names. I don't have my earpiece in, so you just tell me when we're ready. Okay, it is about that time. Let's go. It's Kid Ohio. He's coming up. It's Trader Talk.
Kid Ohio.
Did you like that one, or I don't know? I just thought of
Kid Ohio, T Raider. I got all these.
Yeah, you're all over it. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well, Sean.
Good, man. I'm really, really happy to have you on. Thank you for on very last minute. I mean, literally an hour ago. And I want to thank you for joining our chat and answering some questions in the chat as well. So there it is, man. Everybody in our chat for the first time now gets to see your handsome face. This is Andrew Rader from Raider Trader. You can go find this guy at Raider Trader. What does that say? 01 there? Or what does that say? Oh, what is your, I can't even see. That's too far for me. For 01, right? 101. Raider Trader 101. And then on Instagram, Raider Trader. So, yeah, pretty interesting here. We've called sort of this market being at tops right now. I know that must surprise you a little bit, but we've also talked about more to come late October. Any opinions on the SPY basically at all-time highs right now?
I got all the opinions, Sean. We can talk about all the different sectors. I heard you mention IWM, banks, etc. The markets right now are actually pretty interesting. As we know, October, seasonally speaking, it is the most volatile month. Oh my gosh, I just almost crashed out. But anyway, it's very, very volatile. And as far as what the positioning for October is, it's very hard to day trade. But a lot of the macro ideas start to play out until later October. And there's a few different sectors we'll look at today. But definitely, as far as the market's still more upside, we believe slow, volatile, at least to the upside. But eventually, I think even 580, 579 is very achievable tomorrow. So bears, you better be sweating overnight about your puts.
That's what I think, too. I think it's been such a slow grind to the upside that one day I think we're going to get that little bit of a move. That might be capitulation to the upside, and then maybe we see some sell-off right there. I still was calling Nvidia breaking its all-time highs by Friday. We're $5 away from that 140. We'll see if that can come maybe overnight there. So you staying up later? I don't know how late you stay up, but tonight's Tesla event might be a little too late for your boy here. I'll be watching NFL football. I'm normally in bed by midnight, but you know, tonight that event starts 10 p.m. our time. It's robo-taxi time. And if you come over to the charts here, Fabian, I'll show it and then we'll get Andrew's opinion here. But Tesla really hasn't been trading that well, man. I mean, we've known about this date. We just sort of double topped in and around that 260 area. It's actually more than a double top. It goes back further than this. But right now, still looking okay on the charts as we hold 50 and we hold 200. But for me, Andrew, I think it's a sell the event possibly. I mean, unless he really wows us right now with something, and I'm not sure what that something is. I like the fact that it's, we can go back to the double screen here, Fabian. The fact that it's this wee robot, maybe there's something else that's coming, but you heard anything about this Tesla event? You excited? You positioned into it or anything?
Yeah, I certainly actually am positioned into this, but not how a lot of you might think. And this is a strategy that you guys can employ with a lot of different news events, whether it be earnings, whether it be other things. But like you said, buy the rumor, sell the news. Now, that's the most basic way to do it. But you have to be smarter than that if you really, really want to beat a market. With, of course, the event tonight, Tesla's IV. So the options premium, the implied move is massive. So even if you are correct, you may not make as much as you want, or it's even worth the risk. So what I actually tend to do is, since we do expect downside on this event, sell the news, like you said. Yep. I'm actually short Uber right now. This is what we call a sympathy trade. This was how I was taught to trade around news events, especially, but it's called a sympathy trade. So you actually short a similar, of course, industrial, but you know, discretionary, that kind of thing. Uber will likely be affected similarly to Tesla. If they sell off, if not even more, and pay more.
No, I actually really like that. Go ahead.
That's not even my Uber chart. Hold on, wait.
I was going to say, I really like that Uber call, though. I'm glad you're bringing it up.
You like that SPY chart. But no, this is certainly one that you'll be looking at tomorrow. Any gap down like that, just play the continuation. It's that simple.
Yeah, I was actually saying I'm glad you brought that up because all day today I didn't even talk about Uber and sort of the relationship there because I remember when they first announced the event, there was negative correlation there. Well, positive correlation, I guess Uber going down and Tesla trying to go up on that one. So we'll pay attention to that. Good call on that one. Okay, well, I thought we had talked before and we weren't super excited the last time we spoke about the banks. I didn't think anyways. We talked about XLF. We sort of said that we were kind of, we're at the higher end right now, but there wasn't really a name that directed to me. I can't remember if you mentioned one that you had liked in the banking sector. Is there a report that specifically you're waiting for or anything as it kicks off tomorrow morning?
So I played a lot of the earnings run-ups, specifically C. I actually just filled my calls today. But Wells Fargo, WFC, I also am in calls right now to actually play earnings. So we'll see how that does. But I rolled over a lot of my profits from C to actually fund my trade in WFC. So that's what we're doing. So I'm in 10, 11 calls for tomorrow.
All right, so WFC, okay, I actually do like that play. We'll see if it goes a little bit higher there. One of the regional banks, KRE, of course, the ETF to look at right there. All right, you and I have been talking about XLE for a while. It continues to make, I guess, highs. I mean, I was fine with that 2 or 3 days ago. We sort of poked our head above this $94 area. To me, I hope that wasn't the top. I hope we can keep going. I'm surprised that we're actually not a little bit higher. We can check out USO as well. XLE does pay that dividend of 3.8%, so there is reasons to hold that in the longer term. But I always did think that there was possibility here in oil getting above where we are right now. I thought with all the turbulence there in the Middle East, and then of course we still say prayers for Florida, although we're really glad that didn't hit as serious as potentially it could have. But at the end of the day, I'm surprised oil's not higher. Any thoughts on that take?
Yeah, so it's actually really interesting you say this because one of the macro outlooks, now that we get to October, everyone knows October is the most volatile month, but with this pain actually, rises from the ashes as the phoenix. So you do actually get a lot of positive outlook into the rest of the year, but you have to be smart in which sectors you play to the upside in your long exposure. So specifically with the markets, energy in particular, and especially with commodities, things like that, we actually believe that they are going to continue to rise. And by we, I mean me, myself, and I. But as far as the markets right now, a lot of people think that gold is good for inflation. And that's why people are like, oh, let's get gold, let's get gold. But in reality, it's just good for stagflation. In reality, in this environment, in this market environment, we expect CPI to actually continue to rise. I talked about this last time. You actually could see a bounce in CPI. So this is what we're actually going to be watching and playing, that you'll see a run up in commodities. And so till the end of the year, rather than playing gold like that, what I'm actually going to be positioning in is XLB. So this is the material ETF long. That's what I'm going to be watching in to the later week after 10/18 expiration. And then I'm also going to be watching energy, like you said, XLE. I believe there's still upside in that. I would stick to oil producers. So stay away from OIH, but stick to XLE, XOM, one of those two.
Yeah, good call there. Yeah, I was really surprised at XOM. We have our trader Randy around here. Well, he's not a trader, but the guy that hangs out. He's been talking about XOM there and some underlying reasons why we may get excited about that one. Okay, man. I mean, your election, your stateside right there. We only have less than now. I think it's 25 days or 23 days or so away from that. And we talked about seasonality. Obviously, this is a little bit different. This only happens every 4 years. But we've done some studies here. The election doesn't really have too much of an effect, especially when we might have a mixed house like that. Is there anything maybe you're positioned in looking for some election-based trades? I know that there's easy sectors to talk about. We sort of just talked about energy there. Anything else, maybe the dollar or anything you're looking at as far as election results in a trade heading into November 5th?
So definitely two things. Number one, I will likely start to position into bonds. We mentioned last time I didn't quite position into it yet, but later this month, one thing that I'm watching, and this goes back to that IWM idea as well, is TNX right now. Yields are rising, but I believe that if they can start to decline, and when they do start to decline, you will see mega relief in a lot of the small caps and bonds especially. But you need that thing to start topping out. Then you will see the relief come into the bonds rotation, playing April or January calls on TLT. Additionally, small caps, biotech, that's what you want to do. Again, I think the time frame for this, the proper time frame, is doing it into 10/18 or after. Again, later October is typically where you see a lot of that relief. But specifically for the election, I do have this idea, and this is something that you as a trader, you build these theses with experience. I've had exceptional teachers over my life, and I've had the privilege of sharing knowledge with them, and well, not them sharing knowledge to me, but also passing down a lot of their theses for me to build off of. And one of them that they talked about, and again, these guys are very, very professional. They worked a lot with the idea of, well, the markets don't really care what president gets elected, but they will position for basically the future outlook of which president gets elected. And so the idea is this, that if Donald Trump gets elected, again, I only vote locally. I don't vote on a national basis, at least in my lifetime yet. It's just a whole circus. But how you expect the markets to react is if Kamala Harris gets elected, you actually expect it could be 2 to 3 years more of a bull market, into all-time highs. Does that mean straight up? No. But it could be that we linger around all-time highs for even 2 to 3 more years. But you will see a bigger crash towards the end of her term. Right. But if Trump is elected, you'll likely see pain immediately, not as much pain though, and then you'll see a slower recovery in the final 2 to 3 years of that. So that's how we are positioning. That's kind of the general idea. Is there much information behind that? Is there much edge? Not yet, but that's the thesis we're rolling with for now.
Okay, good job there. I mean, I know the last time that Trump was elected, the futures were absolutely insane that night, and then I'm not even sure we're going to get resolved anyways by the time November 6th happens. The day after. Okay, so some good ideas right there, right now. I just sort of dropped a little bit there on Nvidia. I'm going to give you one last of mine, and then if there's any names that you sort of want to throw, you've had some great ideas here. I know there's a lot of people looking for, and I've actually asked for some questions in the chat if anybody does have.
Oh yeah, drop them. Everyone, drop a question right now.
Yeah, they will. They'll start dropping those questions in there right now. Okay, so have a look at that. Look, for me, I don't know if there's a better stock, honestly, right now than Nvidia. And I know we're going to sound like a broken record. There's every single person is talking about Nvidia, but I'm just going to keep on doing it because I think we're getting close to breaking this high. I think we can even do it tomorrow. You just mentioned that if Harris gets in, we're looking for continuation bull market. I mean, I don't see there's any slowdown here. I feel like Nvidia is going to make chips and already has made chips that will satisfy the lock into China. So now Chinese companies can also buy that. Those chips going through. We have Blackwell. We have a bunch of things coming for Nvidia. AMD goes down on their report today. I think that just solidifies Nvidia's position even more. Are we getting a little too frothy here? I mean, I don't know what the options market looks like for Nvidia right now. Is it worth playing? Any opinions on this one?
So yeah, I'll actually show you two things if you want to share my screen here. Yeah. This right here is the OI chart for the markets right now. And by open interest, I mean the options, right? Puts versus calls. This right here is a classic October formation. You have an insane amount of puts relative to calls. And in fact, you're getting even closer put walls built around the market at 569, 570. So the idea of a massive drop is out the window. Bears, throw it out the window. It's not going to mechanically happen. But what's likely to happen, of course, with October is once you exit the biggest, largest selling period of the year, which is typically August, September, into that quad witching, which is 920, you get a massive rebalancing period. That's why you see so much money and so much volatility into October. And what positions are doing, what firms are going to be doing is they're going to be reallocating into likely majority growth or reallocating into different sectors. And one of those sectors right here is going to be semiconductors. When you look for what's going to outperform, you have to understand new empires are forming in the market. You know, like I said last time, AI was one of them. At one point, semiconductors was one of them. Not recently, though. Semiconductors haven't even broken the June high yet, at least some of them. And so that tells us that that's actually a lagger, and there's going to be likely a rotation in the leaders going forward out of October. And so far, the leaders, which have proven true, this information was available last week, were softwares, energy, SMH, of course, being your semiconductors, softwares, all these different names, airlines even, and banks as well. So a lot of these names are what are going to survive out of October. Not only survive, but outperform. That's what you guys need to be looking at for your trades long.
Where can everybody get the Raider report? That was one question that was in the chat, and I know I want to give you a little bit of time here because you've been such a great guy coming on today. So Raider report, where can we find that?
Yeah, so you guys can just find it, link in my bio, or just search theRaiderReport.com. Again, this is your show. This is absolutely, you guys deserve every bit of this. But I would just say the Raider Report is more like a living resume for me. It's a product where I publish professional trade ideas. Okay. Again, I was very lucky when I was younger. I rolled into a group of very, very professional people, and they were kind enough to take me under their wing, and they, you know, they won't admit it, but they kind of grew on to me a little bit. But a lot of this stuff, the data that I know, I'm very fortunate to know, I'm very blessed to know, especially for someone my age, right. And that's where I share it. So that's the different tools, data tools. It's all built by me. This is all handcrafted, and it's something that I'm very, very proud of.
I did want to say something to that point. I mean, we could probably talk about this for a long time. I think it is so very important that, especially when you get started into, and that's sort of where we came up with Trader TV Live, to be honest with you, because I used to work with thousands of traders worldwide, teaching them all this kind of stuff just about our platform, about prop trading, how that's different, so on and so forth. And again, like that's what sort of sparked the show. So I really think that that's important that you touch on that. It's a very, very, I don't want to say it's a dangerous game. I mean, it is a dangerous game. Anytime you could deposit money, make it with basically no education, and they don't even, you know, these accounts, IBKR, they'll take whatever deposit you give them. They'll let you put on whatever trade you want, right? They don't explain the risks. I actually saw a story the other day. I don't know if it was true or not. Somebody there, and I don't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Robinhood or whatever. Some guy deposited, I don't know what it was, 10 or 20 grand, ran it up into the millions, and then wound up losing it all. Meanwhile, he was blaming some of the brokers. So I just wanted to say, I do think that's very important. I'm glad that you brought that up. It's something where if you don't understand, reach out, find YouTube, find stuff. I know you're posting all the time on Instagram, that Raider Report. Check us out here on Trader TV Live, as over 2,000 are watching right now, and they're taking that.
And I absolutely agree. I think everyone knows in this chat room, all 2,000 of you, you all know the snake oil salesman that trading is sadly diluted with. But what I always encourage people to look at is look at their character, look at why they're trading. When you watch these guys like Sean and Neil, when you watch, hopefully you see this in myself, but people who are actually passionate about the markets, we can talk about markets without talking about money. Right. We can talk about them in ways that we have a smile on our face and we love what we do. And that's how you should be judging people. If someone's got a Lambo on screen and they're saying buy something because they have that, you have to really reflect, well, if they really love the markets, wouldn't they be showing the markets first before all that? That's what I would like to believe. But, Sean, he won't show you off screen, but he does have a, roof down, a Venador, SVJ, but, he doesn't need to talk about that on live show all the time, at least.
Slow down on that, man. We're trying to be undercover over here. No, but anyways, thank you so much for that talk. I think that means a lot. Okay, a couple questions, man. You asked for them. Are you ready? Let's go.
I'm ready.
Is there? Okay, yeah. Well, I'm gonna. They're coming to you right now. I'll put it in the chat so you can see it too if you want. This one right here. You come over to my screen. I'll show the chat and we'll go. We only have a couple more minutes, so we'll be quick on all this.
Worries.
All right. Rohit Sharma says, Andrew, which AI software tech companies? Anything for a swing plan? You talked about IoT before, but there's the question right there. Is there anything in the AI space other than, I guess, some of these chip names that you're looking at, specifically software companies?
Software specifically, I'm still in the upside. I believe we do get a high above here. Actually, you can just...
What was that, Deere, did you say? What was that?
D-Dog.
Oh, Datadog. Yep.
I still believe a high to 134 by November is still possible. This has a market maker cycle. I was long this one for 1018. So be watching that one. As far as AI, I don't really have an opinion on that. I actually believe the next big sector to pop off is biometrics and security, but they don't really have that many stocks for that right now. So it's a waiting game. But AI rotation was like last year, I think. So I'd avoid that. All right, next one.
Biometrics and security. Okay. All right. Barcott says right here from us, Raider Trader, any thoughts? And you can pick one of these names. I'm not sure if you've covered them yet, Andrew, but Celsius Holdings, which is CELH, and or Snowflake. Do you have opinion on either one of those?
Personally, I would avoid both of those. That's just me. I think the opportunities run dry, but that's you guys.
And why?
I did read a question. Someone did ask, am I bringing my quote 750 horsepower Widowmaker to Canada?
Right.
I will say this, Sean, I'm planning flights this weekend to come see you guys Tuesday through that Saturday of October. So of Halloween week.
All right, I'm writing this down.
We are going to make some stuff happen. It is going to be an exciting week for sure.
All right. Respect. There you go. You got the respect on the screen right there. But he's taking flight, so we'll get that PJ, that private jet, ready to go for you. Okay.
I'm actually flying the plane, but keep going.
Then we will not see you then, I imagine. Okay. All right. Best of luck with that over there. I mean, you could take Neil's helicopter when you get here. All right. Next thing right now. One last question because, if someone else puts another one, we can ask it there. All right. Yep. Erie Pages. Erie Pages is definitely someone that's been on our show many, many times. Again, so I'm going to cut and paste it right here, right now. People loving this conversation, by the way. Any small caps that and I forgot to copy the word like. We talked about IWM a little bit there. Is there anything in that space right now that potentially catching your eye? I don't know if it's in the options market or not. Anything like that. What in the small cap world are you looking at?
So specifically, if you do want to play stuff to the upside, number one, stick to IWM. That's the most basic trade. If you're boring, you don't want to do research, IWM. But again, we need TNX to fall. We need yields to start falling to give some relief to small caps. What I would stick to is biotechs and IWM.
Right.
So I've had opportunities in car, Roblox isn't a small cap, but it behaves like mid cap, small cap. It moves like that. But as far as what I would stick to, definitely stick to IWM or the biotechs. Look at XBI's holdings, look at GILD, and look at Moderna. The most beaten down name is Moderna, one of them. Yeah. I think there's a 6 to 8% day coming if TNX does gap down. So there's your answer.
TNX Therapeutics, we like that. We've had that on our idea before. Okay, look at this. I was actually going to, you said XBI. I already had it up.
Yep.
This is actually an ETF that I really like. I think that it's coming back in a little bit here, too much. And I just think, besides you, the world is getting real old right now. And I mean, we're going to need more biotech names. XLV, Andrew, another name that I really like down here in the healthcare space as well. Moderna, an individual name. I do think that there is an idea.
And I will also say, last thing is for you crypto hodlers.
Right.
Into late October, this is actually going to be the time of the year. Crypto October. This is the time of the year to start positioning into some crypto. So,
you got a friend in Fabian.
As bad as it looks, this is just classic October, guys. Right. It's supposed to look bad, but the idea is that this is what the shakeout phase is about. So end of October, I'll be positioning likely into some Bitcoin and ETH. So
I don't even really see Bitcoin as being that bad right now, to be honest with you. You're just at the 200 period moving average here on IBIT. So okay, Andrew, look, thank you so much on such late notice. You just absolutely rocked it. The chat is loving it. It's Andrew Raider. You can go find this guy at RaiderTrader101 and RaiderTrader on Instagram. There's that alarm. That means we got to get out of here. Andrew, thank you so much. Have a great Thursday and a great weekend, and we'll talk to you in a bit.
Absolutely a pleasure, Sean. Have a great one, guys.
Ciao. That's my guy, Raider Trader. Look, one thing I have to do here, because I don't know how many people are even watching right now. I'm not here tomorrow. Over 2,100 of you. Look, I reread the chat. I had no idea that I came across that snark there to Adair about ringing that bell. I did not mean to be, and I've already apologized to her. So I want to thank everybody in the chat for pointing that out. That was just bang, and I was just but I realized maybe it came across a little bit too. No, that's nobody's fault other than mine. So I have already apologized to her, and I want to thank everybody in the chat for mentioning that. But I was just wow, that was honestly, wow. Okay, but thank you to Adara again, all the hard work. She already knows. She actually laughed when I said that to her, but I want to thank Adara for that and everything she's doing and everybody in the chat. Because you know what? We're on the air literally all day. We know each other very, very well around here. We have a great environment. You hear that all the time from Sharif too. And actually, by the way, I actually have another announcement to make. Big Patty Ice is gone. His last day. He's actually going to be opening up. No, it's a good story. He's opening up a floor with Real Trading. So there you go. So he's actually going to be opening up his own floor. He saw the potential there. So I say big shout out to you as well. So there it is right now. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for pointing that out. And there is Raider Trader again, right there. He says, sorry, Hidera, for that. So all right, we'll make sure that we get some. Well, she loves matcha, so that's what I'm going to do. On Monday, I'll get her that. But there it is right there. So I just want to say I didn't realize that. And again, sometimes we're going back and forth there on the air. But I just wanted to apologize. I don't even know if I needed to address it. I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it. Anyways, okay. Thank you so much once again, man. I'm not here tomorrow, but it's going to be Neil. It's going to be Obi. It'll be Sharif. And I believe Satya, I think, is she Tuesdays, Fridays, I believe. So stay tuned for all that. It should be a heck of a lot of fun. Join us again every single day at 8:30. Plus, we got the recap show. This happens every single day. We have great guests like that for Andrew. Thank you so much for that super chat. That's very, very kind of you for all of that. So have a great long weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And again, everybody stay safe there in Florida. I hope everything worked out well for you. That's it. All right. That means I got to go. That's the got to go look. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow.